Okay, our meeting is now in session. And I just want to introduce myself for those of you who may not know me. My name is Nnakina Xi-Amaru Fears. I am the chief of the Xi-Amaru Republic and also active CEO of Aboriginal Ministry of Justice. And I will be your host today for our first tribal meeting. And we will be, make sure to mute yourself, guys. That way, you don't have any echoing going on. But that being said, okay. Before I begin, I want to start with an open declaration so that you guys are aware that you're not here for a regular tribal meeting. You are here for, this is a judgment that's going to. Before I say anything else, let me just make this clear that Ephesians 6:12, it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against power, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And then we also have 2 Corinthians 10:4-5, which says, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God for the pulling down of strongholds. So this is not, I want to start off by letting you guys understand that this is not personal. This is spiritual. This is a spiritual event that you guys are attending. This is also not revenge. This is righteous judgment. Now, for those who are a part of the other jurisdiction, you guys will have a chance to speak. And for those of you who may not even be familiar with what is about to take place, you will be considered, I would say you guys are kind of going to be the jury of this case. So some of you guys will be asked to participate, whether you're a part of ARNA or not, when it comes to this information. So please pay attention and do not speak over again. This is supposed to be a respectful event. Okay. And again, for those who are not familiar, because I know people are coming in, I am Chief Nnakina Xi-Amaru Fears, and today I speak under divine instruction on behalf of God, the righteous judge, who is the judge of all judge. So this is not a tribal update. This is a courtroom in heaven, and the verdict is being rendered now. So I want to start off with the chief of ARNA. God says this is the end. From 2021 to 2020, from 2020 through 2021. Hold on. Okay, so to bring context to this case, this took place back in 2021. Okay, when all of this began, division and everything started to take place. So for those of you who are not aware, ARNA is another jurisdiction similar to us as an indigenous government. Now, this jurisdiction also has people who identify as Xi-Amaru. That's very important to understand, because when it comes to us as a people in this world and this side of the world who have been misclassified, that is a part of our lineage. However, depending on the system that you choose to be a part of determines the structure and the rulings and the jurisdiction that applies to you. So that being said, 2021, there was a business named Indigenous of the North that me and my previous partner established together. That government organization stood for the chief, because again, this is for the chief of ARNA. That government organization stood with you publicly, privately. It provided structure for your it provided structure for your government operations, administrative help, tribal recognition, advocacy, structural intercession, spiritual intercession, credibility in the eyes of the people. And this is not just me trying to say that. We also have evidence here. And these are, and again, this is back in 2021. And someone would like to read the post that the chief made in regards to this. And if anyone here in ARNA can verify if this is false information or is it accurate, if you were a part of ARNA during that time, can you please raise your hand to confirm if this was actually posted? And again, we are here. This is being recorded. Please, can anyone confirm, is this public information? Yes. Can you, if you are in here, whether you're a part of ARNA or now a part of our jurisdiction, because we want to make sure that the public understands whether or not false information is being provided. So other than me, if someone who is
false information is being provided, I am from ARNA, but I understand I'm trying to be as respectful as possible and let you go down what you're doing, but understand that you're showing a picture and you're going to give your side of context, and
no, you will definitely have
not start with the proper context of this is a picture taken after you are a part of our nation and you were adjudicated in our court. So I think that is important context.
Yes, thank you for adding that. Thank you for adding that. But do you mind, since you are speaking, Mr. Bolan Xi-Amaru, reading what your chief posted when we were a part of your jurisdiction?
I can confirm that this is a screenshot of his page.
Okay, so you weren't a part of ARNA in 2021?
I was a part of ARNA, yes, since 2018.
Since 2018. Okay, is there anyone who is a part of ARNA or was a part of ARNA during this time that is attending to defend if you saw this publicly or not?
I can confirm I was at this summit as well.
Okay. Well, that's fine. So let's go ahead. Well, since I am here, I'm going to read it then. And you did see us or saw me at that summit that year?
Yeah, me and you had a conversation about people in Maryland who had issues with IOTN. So I'm actually perfect person here to actually talk about why I actually came to the summit to speak with you and also other jurists within ARNA. So I understand concerns, but I think we are all Black people here and we understand that we're learning how to deal with these things. So we'll address all of those things tonight.
Awesome. Now, even though you said that, this is what your chief posted that August for the summit, and we're going to read it. So it says, don't get mad, other jurists, but this got to be our top jurist family. Nnakina and her husband Zayat have put in the best jurist work I have seen since I started ARNA. Hubby was at the farm. Now, no, let me correct that. This was actually a cardiology event that happened prior to the summit that I attended. And this is when this picture was posted. The picture with my previous family is for the summit. So I just want to bring clarity to that. So that being said, it says, hubby was at the farm putting in work while wifey was doing her usual magic. From the bottom of my heart, I love you both and your beautiful children. You are a stellar example of what ARNA was made for. #family. I feel good knowing y'all can run this whole operation literally. At X name, bro, I love you forever for showing your brothers what a brother, husband, father, and God is. And Nnakina, you are a leader and example in our tribe for all women. At Indigenous of the North, we doing national and global. We go in national and global. Okay, that's what was said. Now, since it was brought to the public, because I did have a previous incident with my ex, which many of people who are part of ARNA became aware of because I posted it publicly. And at the time, I had a situation where I only used to communicate with my ex and the chief at that time. Now, what happened, as we can see here in September, August was the summit. September, things are boiling up. So now, however, so keep in mind, we reached out officially to the chief. I let him know what happened, which was my ex slapped me. And that wasn't the concern. Now, keep in mind, nothing was going on. But what happened in that instant is I realized that for a long time, I was only speaking to two people, which was my ex and my chief. And this is the message that he sent to me personally. I don't know if anyone has his number that can confirm that this is his number. I don't know if he changed it, but I removed it just to make sure that he is aware. And this is here. So it says, "Peace, Nnakina. This is an executive decree per our constitution. Executive decree temporary order based upon sections of the ARNA Constitution." Then he listed some clause and unit. Oop, going too fast. Let me roll back. Don't worry. Doopy-doop. Let me go. That's perfect. I see some of previous people who even work with us. That's awesome. Who was also a part of Indigenous of the North, which is great. He said, all videos, just going back into the message, all videos in the current public confrontation with any mention of ARNA must be removed. All videos of the current confrontation in regards, I'm assuming, Indigenous of the North and its operation, finance, etc., must be removed. Now, why this is here is we want to talk about how important in this situation it was to keep things private, as it emphasizes all allegations of physical harm must be submitted to an arbitration hearing or juror society. Now, keep in mind, at this time, ARNA doesn't have a juror society, okay? And so there is no real way to communicate at this time within ARNA. So that is why he is texting me personally, okay? Now, it also states procedures to accept arbitration can be done by text, acceptance email, acceptance phone call, acceptance written, acceptance to headquarters contact address. So it says refusal to handle this matter via private arbitration or juror society will be followed by the impanneling of juror society to handle the entire case. Now, this is, keep in mind, this is the only communication that I've had so far in regards to stepping out of line, let's just say, or not acting in accordance to any protocols of ARNA. Again, this is in September 23, 2021. Okay. Now, as you guys can see, this may not be the best time for me to step in and put this message out there, but it was placed in my heart. So I want to bring context because Mr. Bolan just mentioned something very important, which is assuming that there's a case against me that is actually true when it comes to me mishandling funds. But let's just start here. And then after this, Bolan, you will have the floor to explain how in your jurisdiction, if necessary, how I am a criminal. But because we want to make sure that's here. But let's start off where this started. It says October 8, 2021. So I personally reached out to the chief. I said, I don't know if anyone wants to volunteer to read at this time. Anyone who would like to volunteer, can you please take yourself off of mute and read what this message says in the first screenshot to the right, to the left? Bring yourselves in. I want to make sure that this is not a boring, this is a case. So we want to make sure that we are being able, at least confirm, guys, that you are able to hear everything. Drop it in the chat, make sure it's there. Are you volunteering, Mr. Darren, to read this screenshot? No. Okay, you just put yourself, okay, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, well, I will read it, okay? It says, okay, go ahead and read it. I saw someone just raise their hand. Did you raise your hand on accident? Go ahead and read. Is that whoever is raising their hand, you can go ahead and read.
October 8th, 2021 at 4:34 p.m. I wanted to talk to you over the phone, but I understand you're busy. I want to start off by saying I'm very grateful for what you have done for us all, and the reason I'm considering is because I want to honor your legacy and continue to push the vision. I'm going to run for chief when elections come up. I have a lot of love for you and the people and know I can assist with the progress needed for the next level. I don't want you to feel like I'm going behind your back because I will soon start letting the community know I will be running. But I feel I owe it to you to be honest about my intentions first. After speaking with my husband, he says I have his support. I know I'm not perfect, but I know something is inside of me ready for this journey. I love you, Chief. I don't know what the future holds, but if the people decide, I promise you I will do everything in my power to take things beyond.
Okay, thank you for that. Can someone else volunteer to read his response? Just raise your hand. There's 69 people in here, guys. We have to become active participants in society if we want to grow. If not, I will read.
What I'm reading?
His response.
Absolute. Is it the gray?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's in your right.
Okay. Is there anyone else want to continue reading?
Hold on.
I don't
Hold
know
on
how
real
to
quick.
raise
Let
a
me
hand,
read.
but I'll say so. I'll read it.
Okay, go ahead and read, Ralph.
How the hell am I supposed to read? What do we? Hold on.
To the
Oh.
right, to the right.
It's the gray. We're reading the gray, people. We just read the other side, so it's the right side where it says absolutely.
If you're gonna read, if somebody's gonna read it, I'll read it. I don't mind.
Go ahead, Ralph.
All right. It says, absolutely. That's in your right. LOL. I'll never lose, but you were welcome. I don't see anybody here that could come close to operating this right. If I did, O would have retired. My brother Musa came to me just yesterday. He can verify. He said this would happen. Y'all have no idea even what ARNA really is yet. Y'all will learn. Give it your best shot. I have no ill feelings at all.
Thank you for that. Can someone else read the blue?
Sure. I hear you. Sounds good to me. May the best candidate win.
Okay. And can someone else read the next response?
May you read your constitution in detail.
And the last response?
Copy.
Copy.
Thank you. Okay. So again, he has given, according to this, can you guys confirm that he has agreed that that is one in my right in his response? And is it correct that he has stated that no one could run ARNA at that point in time? Okay. Thank you guys for raising your thumbs, giving me a thumbs up and confirming that. Now,
I don't agree with that.
okay, well, you will be able to respond in a minute.
Okay.
But okay, for the person who just said you don't agree, you can have the floor on why you don't currently agree.
I don't agree because the last thing he told you was to read your constitution, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
basically what that is telling you is that based on the constitution, you don't have the right to run.
So
See?
are you saying that the chief contradicted himself in that response?
I'm
No, he
saying
said
that
he
he
was
told
kind of being cheeky. I was going to make the same statement that he does that often with stating, hey, you may believe that you're ready, but you haven't even read the Constitution to align yourself to even say that you are ready properly.
Okay, well, Bolan, since you were a part of ARNA, can you confirm that I indeed was had an elected position at that time in ARNA, according to you, that was given by the chief, or are you not aware of that information?
If I have a second to be clear, not just, and I'm not going to drag, I'm just going to answer your question. But I don't want to be divisive. People are new here. So let's be very clear. You weren't given an elected position. We have elected positions and people, everyone here.
When
Let me finish.
was that election?
I will share with you. If you just
Okay.
allow me to speak, I'm not going to drag. We are going to be civically advanced. We have a court, so we are going to actively act like we did. The answer is, at the time, and all you have to show for it is statements that he made. Statements that at the time, we all agreed that you did a great job. At the time, we all respectfully believed that you were a great candidate. So he was not out the wrong for stating, and at the time, all the great things that you were doing. What ended up happening was, as investigations came through, because there was an NJS.
Pause. So,
Yes.
was there an investigation prior to this message that you can confirm on? And is it in writing?
The investigation is on the ARNANJS.org website. If anybody wants to take a look at it, you can type that in there. You'll be able to see.
That's not the question. Did it happen before?
Let me give you the first answer that you wanted. The other answer was the text message that you just showed. That's why I'm trying to be clear to everybody. It is very divisive. You are running the meeting. The message that you just showed was at the time that I just spoke to. You are speaking to the time when everything was cool and no one knew of the things that we found out within the case. So at the time, respectfully, IOTN, if you want me to say it as a national, IOTN at the time was the best jurist company from my perspective. I think there was other people doing great work, and you were getting a lot of praise in public and also in private. But there was never an election that stated from anybody of a national in ARNA that put you in any position.
Gotcha. Okay. So at the time, however, and this time that we're talking back in October 2021, is there currently any seats in ARNA to elect other than the chief having full power and autonomy to make those decisions?
In 2021, at the time of these, not at this time of this conversation, but later in pretty much, well, this was this October, we had pretty much our inaugural ball in December. In January of 2022, we started rites of passage, and then we did elections. Because to the point of which you brought up, he was being cheeky, but I was going to ask you a question and I'll finish with it. But to your point, what happened was we went through rites of passage, because you can understand you're building up something that our people haven't gone through any rehab or any practice. So we as a nation went through rites of passage a couple months from this message. And then he opened up elections right after that. I was elected right after.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay, thank you. Well, let's proceed. So at this point in time that we're talking about, there's only 2 people that the chief himself did elect, and this is why the next person will be mentioned, because it is said by many that I came in and tried to do a coup of ARNA, or I tried to take leadership. Now, if that is the case, let's display Mr. Powhatan. Well, he's named in my phone as Angelo. And we have some text message here. This is October 8th. I basically notified the next person who had some form of authority in ARNA. And whoever wants to volunteer, can you read the message in blue starting from the right on what the message says? It says, starting from, but now it's the Facebook show.
I'll read it, and I'll start with clarity of Powhatan also did not have an election base. Powhatan also was.
How did he gain power?
I'm going to be clear. I'm not trying to call you out. You asked for a reader. I'm gonna give a reader, but I want to be clear to everyone that same way you just asked, he did not have any power either. He got praise for being a great cosmologist.
Are you saying that the chief of ARNA in October of 2021 was being a tyrant and just giving out positions and he didn't have the power to do that? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I am saying is that he was the most, and still can be looked at, one of the most experienced cosmologists within our jurisdiction. And based off of that, because we had not had formal elections, Chief understood that in order to hold the House, which is what we're going to speak about a little bit today, in order to actually hold a government, you have to have certain positions. In our Constitution,
So he was doing.
Let me
Go
finish. In our Constitution, he had the right to appoint proper positions, cosmologists being one of them. Now, the appointment of it versus the election of it is completely different things. He did not give any powers to anybody at that time. He appointed people to be advisory, and they were allowed to advise on certain things. One part of our jurisdiction is you have to be able to write a dissertation to be able to advise and do certain levels of advisory, or you will have injuries, of which this is why we have courts. So that was more of a situation. And at the time you're speaking about, I want to be very clear, at the time you're speaking about, it was still very friendship based. It wasn't like something was appointed and said to us as nationals. And that's the point that I am making. Maybe they chose to do that and speak with each other, but as a national, that was no open judgment or no open formal communication that was his power, that we had to follow anything.
Okay, got it.
But let me read
this message. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Wait, before you read, we just want to include that this message is just informing at the time one of the people that I assume that based on the fact that the chief did appoint, or well, he appointed, he wasn't elected according to Mr. Bolan Xi-Amaru, but this was someone who had some form of authority given by the chief. So, and for context, before we read, because I think many people in ARNA, and this may be a little speculation, but I think many people in ARNA don't actually remember what was going on in ARNA at this time, because they all, based on what has been said, it's assumed as though ARNA was just perfect, and I, Nnakina Xi-Amaru, just decided, let me take over ARNA because I want to be the boss now. Now, based on these text message, Mr. Bolan, can you read what I said?
Yes, but now hold on. Did you want me to start with the blue?
Yeah, you could go. No, yeah, that side. But now it's the Facebook show.
But now it's the Facebook show. Elections are coming soon. I can't stand by and be complicit to this behavior anymore. He has blocked me from Facebook. This is not for you to talk to him. Remain political. I'm just giving you notice.
Okay. Can someone read what he said?
I keep my word always. You keep yours, and sorry, let's zoom in. You keep yours and spoke to Chief directly. You kept yours.
Thank you. And can you continue, Josh, for going over to the next response?
You got it. This is too great. Not even going to allow the creator to destroy it. He will thank me after, even if it's years from now. We will be in touch.
What did he say next? Can someone else read that? Oh, hey, Mrs. Campbell, can you read since you have your hand up? If you can see it. You can't see? You can't hear?
No, I really can't see it, but I'm confused about this whole thing. Like,
We're
what's
going
the
to talk
meaning
about it later. This is a case, then you just sit by and pay attention at this point. You'll get it. Can someone else read the rest of the response?
I respect you, sis.
And then it says, that's all I need. So based so far on this conversation, do you guys see anyone here either trying to abuse power or trying to even communicate in a way that is malicious with another party? Can you guys confirm based on what you just read? Yes or no? Do you hear anything that could be perceived that two people are trying, or a person is trying to either team up with anyone? No. Good job. Thank you guys. Now, as you guys can see, and I can say this publicly, and he also knows that this is a person that I personally told that I do not like before this message. Okay. So this wasn't a person, just to bring clarity, that I had a relationship with in any shape or form. But this is someone who also went through, at the time, the business Indigenous of the North, and had services through us, which many people, just like Mr. Bola mentioned himself as well, had services with us. Now, when I reached out, which is October 10th, 2021, can someone read that response? Starting by best of luck to you all.
Best of luck to you all. Let your wife know she will be receiving a refund for her certificate, and her order has been canceled. Contact the active chief for the certificate.
Okay, thank you for that. Do you guys see his response? Did he respond with an emoji or some form of text?
Emoji.
It's a thumbs up. No.
Okay, got it. Well, basically, the fan has hit the show, okay? This is what's going on, meaning that he's also someone who has separated and stood against. So that's what happened here. Now,
Context, he didn't separate. He was also put on the Aboriginal wanted page just like you for stealing funds. So let's keep in mind of that. And so was his nephew, Nnakina, who also injured people in Maryland, over 10 people. And actually, he showed up to his case and he's paying back his judgment, which is one of the cool things in our jurisdiction, that you can mess up and you can be found guilty and you can try to fix it as well. But let's just be clear that he, just like when you had it, you both showed up at the same time with cases for the same exact thing, and his nephew as well. So context, family.
Okay. When you say cases, is there an active case going on at this time, October 10th, 2021, from your understanding? Because you did mention that appointed people came after a ball. And
no, that's not what I'm alluding. What I'm alluding to is that at the time we all were, just from my perspective, right? I'm not here to call names. From my perspective, at the time, we were all in the light that things were on the up and up. He's in my jurisdiction, in my region. I'm a part of the men's group. I got put out of the men's group the day before he showed up on the Aboriginal wanted list. Why? And the correlation that I'm making here is that these type of conversations were happening in the background with people who were doing illegal things in our jurisdiction. So you can say that, just give me real quick for context. When you say here, does this message look like people trying to get together for any type of reason? Not originally, no, but your mindsets based off of what we learned were aligned based off of the things that happened. Brother Power Hattoon here, I'm not going to speak anything against him. All I can say is based off of what was found, he got caught to be doing the same things. It didn't just start when we found out. You got caught to be doing the same things as well. So from my perspective,
since you're speaking,
you two could have got together because, again, from our side of things, sister, you two could have been preparing for the exact coup things that we seen after the fact.
Okay, so you guys went into protecting the government, ARNA, against people like me. Now, in that sense,
I'm not saying that. I'm just giving context to what's here. Okay.
Well, based on what we're discussing right now, I just want to, I didn't even know, and thank you for sharing that, because I didn't even know he was on a list of anything. But I'm looking to see right here, based on what is presented, was this someone who was, so you're saying that because he is now on the wanted list, are you saying that that could mean that we were or could have been co-conspirators?
I'm saying that it is, and I'm asking other people because you made this a case and made them a jury. I'm asking the jury to look at the probability that two people who got caught in cases of stealing funds could start having conversations about how they want to run for chief. And this is also my experience between the two. people. My experience between the two people, not calling you out. This is my experience with you. You
Can you
speak
tell
a lot
the people
about.
what I'm accused of? Since you are
Let's
talking
not
about
jump. Let me finish my point so they can understand.
Mhm.
I have seen you speak a lot to popularity. I have seen you speak to speculation that can only come from online. Understand, these are nations that are being built mostly online. These things happen by mistake. I'm a part of a council that meet every 2 weeks. I remind our people that we all come from different places, talk differently. We have to grow with each other. So you have to understand that when you're learning and you're talking about what people believe and you never talk to all the nationals.
But that's why you are here, to bring
But you were
and
speaking
context.
for me. You spoke. I was a national at that time when you were here, and you spoke for me when you said that you believed all these things were true, and they weren't. And there's other people
What
here
things were true?
that will speak to that.
What things that I believe was true?
I'm going to stop talking, and if we should pass the mic to other ARNA members here,
Okay, got it.
they should speak to the things that you just said,
Got
and
it.
let's specifically
Okay,
let's
so
speak to.
according to the case, which since you did mention it, can someone drop it in the comments so we can pull up the case? Because you said that there's an active case against me. I want those.
I know. Again, you keep speculating stuff. I didn't say any. I did not say that. Like, if you're going to give us a chance to speak, you should, or allow us to be clear to the people here that's listening, that are supposed to be in between and mediating.
Got it.
The
Okay.
point is, there is a website, ARNA-NJS.org, that you all can go to. You can click on the Aboriginal Most Wanted page. You can see your chief there. See the result of her case, and you can see the result of other cases.
Can you drop that in the comment for the people to have access to that?
Yeah, one of our sisters already did it, and they'll read it, and she just redid it again.
Can she? Okay, let me pull that up so we can bring that to the screen.
If I may quickly finish in 10 seconds, only thing I'm trying to get out to y'all so y'all can understand the correlation that I'm trying to make, and that I'm not trying to argue a point, that I'm trying to be clear that we were nationals around that time, and we were all watching. She has continued to speak that she got elected. These things happen, and we just knew these things. If anybody
who's in charge to do that, though, wasn't that your chief who was responsible to communicate at that time?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm giving context and dialogue. When you rewatch this, you will see the dialogue you started with is it not true that at this time IOTN was looked at this way? And I wanted to give you context that you were being praised, but you were not given an elected position. The same way the other person I tried to show was given praise, but was not given anything outside of praise.
Okay, so from what we're
seeing,
it's
speculation. It's your feelings, but it's not truth.
Okay,
we have constitution and documents for these things.
Okay, so it's not truth. So there's a case. So this is the same. This is so between August and I think October. So this is all happening around the same time. So this is a public statement by the chief.
And I was there when I was there when he made.
No, we're bringing back context because you just mentioned that this was happening here, but at the same time, it was brought to the public's attention that I was committing all of these crimes that came after this.
That's what you're speculating. When I said is that happened in August, and I said later, we ended up going through the process of hearing some of the issues that happened with IOT. And not even later, I personally said I came to that summit to speak to you. I literally came to your table. I can tell you where you were. You were sitting right next to Ken. You were, your table was literally
next to Ken. Where was your chief at that time, since you are bringing up the summit? Why did you come to see me? Is it because
you had injured multiple people in my jurisdiction, and we were trying to get a charter, and at the point, because you're trying to make some of these points, there was some communication issues because there wasn't a full government at the time, which is why we went through all the things.
So how did Indigenous and or injured you, since you did mention that?
You didn't injure me. I didn't have you as a jurist, but multiple people in my jurisdiction had been injured by IOTN. Yes, ma'am.
Peace, family. I'm going to jump in here real quick. So we could get that case open. It has exact proof of everything that IOTN and Nnakina and her ex-husband were accused of. If we can open that up, then we can talk about that directly.
She's
We
aware of it, sister. She's
we
not.
Hi Naima. Thank you for joining us. Naima, when did you join ARNA?
Please open the case, the link that I've sent multiple times,
She's saying,
and we
"Hey,
can
bro,
just
I
stay
will
on
open
topic,
it,
sis.
but we want to introduce you to. Are you going to be talking about the case?
she's just asking
Please
you to quote."
open that link to the case because that goes directly to what we're all here to discuss, not about when I was
No, we're
mastermind,
not here. This
not
is
my name,
Xi-Amaru
not my background, but about your case and the issue. So if you could open up that link, please, then we could all begin to address what the conversation is at hand. Thank you very much.
That case will be open after this case. Many people have seen what you guys have posted. No one has heard the
Most
other
people
side.
have actually not seen that, including those in ARNA and definitely those outside of it. And people are actually in the chat asking about this case. So we can open this case.
We're
that
going
has
to
already occurred years ago. We can
continue.
discuss
You're
it
going to be
together,
removed. This is your
and then we can
final
all
warning.
move forward. Thank you.
Hello.
This is going to
Excuse
be
me.
your only
Hi.
warning. You're going to be removed. Yes,
Hi.
yes, Ms.
Uh,
Campbell.
okay. I'm a little confused, but my door did pull us up like last year, so I do know about the case and everything. Now, are we arguing about two different tribes coming together to, like, I'm not understanding because to me,
Okay,
you have your tribe.
Okay, thank you for bringing up that point. So to bring clarity to what's going on right now is ARNA continues to bash us who are a part of the Xi-Amaru Republic, who currently operate, saying that we are committing fraud, we're scammers, we are stealing people's money, that we, because I am the chief and I was expatriated from ARNA because of all of these horrible things that I did in ARNA, therefore, we are here injuring people. Now, for those who are a part, since we are talking about it, who are currently a part of the Xi-Amaru Republic, can you please, if you've been injured by us, can you please come forward and explain your case right now, open publicly, so that people are aware on how you have been served by the Xi-Amaru Republic when you have gotten service from Aboriginal Ministry of Justice?
Hey, Nnakina,
Mhm.
can I speak real quick?
Go ahead, Darnell.
Okay. I'm a current citizen of the Xi-Amaru Republic. What I will say is, number one, I think that there has to be, I see Nnakina bringing receipts, and I see, members of ARNA bringing receipts. And I think whatever the so-called nitty-gritty is, if we can get down to that, that'll be good. But I can speak for myself in saying, not only was I never injured by the Xi-Amaru Republic, but Nnakina and the legal representatives of the Xi-Amaru Republic have bent over backwards to help me and my family. This is something I can attest to. They have bent over backwards. I've even been in a position where I've asked several times to volunteer my work to help build a nation. However, Nnakina will not allow that. Nnakina says if we're going to do anything for this nation, we have to get paid. So, I mean,
And
I
we're
mean,
here to support you, brother. But by default, you're being injured. Like one of our brothers just said that. And we're going to go through the pay. This not a, but she's showing y'all receipts of personal injuries. We want to show you receipts of how what y'all are doing isn't actually
pause now.
real.
This is up, Bolan. I'm sorry, because one, I am bringing my tribe. Pause. As the chief of the Xi-Amaru Republic, I am bringing my people to this meeting. Therefore, I will make sure that they have clarity on why they're here, because I don't waste my people's time. So we're going to cut the show because now you guys are making it something that it's not. You're trying to make it seem like
We've
this
said
case
it this
is
whole
actually
time.
factual.
Everybody's saying the same thing, sister. The brother just said, nobody's cutting each other off. We've been respectful. We've been quiet.
But we need to
Everybody's saying here is that you
Well,
are
I was
prolonging
trying to finish my statement, but I
so
got
you
cut
guys
off,
want to show
know.
the people the case because you guys want to make sure that they are aware of any possible injury that can happen to them and their family, and we will get there. But what I'm saying is they do not have this side. So this information that you guys have posted multiple times, we have people who have ran into this information. So don't worry. People are aware of what you guys have said publicly about me and the previous business that I was associated with. So we're not going to bring that up, but my people have never heard my side publicly. And
if
neither
this is going to
have
be a
you.
court case, though, they need to hear our side publicly as well.
You
I
can
mean,
hear the case after, but this is not that case. This is another case that's happening counter to that. So now we're bringing more facts, and then let the judge see whether what is
This
what.
is not a
That's what
court
I'm saying.
case, sister. That's why we asking you to go faster with this, because again, this is not you're
You
calling
can
this
wrap up at this
not a
point.
court case.
Now is the judgment time. Okay.
Okay, here's the thing. Part of being the tribe, if you separate from that tribe and you open up your own jurisdiction, that's two different tribes. So why are we bringing your tribe into our
With the
tribe?
same name,
Problem.
we can go through. Let's go through the law about how you can do that with the same name. That's what we're asking to do. We're not here to like tell y'all that y'all can't do that. And if we get a chance to speak, if y'all look at the agenda of this, we are listening. We are being told this is a court case with no court. And we are respectfully sitting here, but people have
Did
families.
you guys form this case without a court? To when did this investigation start? Since you guys want to talk about this case so bad that it's in good standing and
Can
it
you
is
show the
correct.
case like this, Mr. Said, and we'll get into it.
Hold on, let me share this tab. There we go. So when did investigation start? Since you want to talk about it, when did this start? I started collecting all of this injury. Was this prior to me reaching out to possibly run for chief, or was this something that you guys decided you had to do since that was something I talked about? When did the treason happen?
We're not going to play the game. We're going to directly say that you were reached out about your case and about the actual charge
at this point, because you want to play those things.
This is the answer. You asked the question. This is the direct answer. You knew when the case was because you were made contact.
When was it? Okay, let me reach out.
And
Then.
then
Let me pull up.
when
When did I first reach? Do you know when this case was first brought to me? Since you are part of the legal team.
Let's be civilized here. You asked me a question. Now let's just keep it to the answer.
Does it say case one? Does this mean that this is the first case that ARNA has ever done against someone? This says case one. Is that what that means?
Nnakina, the answer is that you were served the case, that you know that you were served the case, and the amount of people that you needed to show as a jurist that you signed up because you have a logbook and you needed to show the paperwork for those people and you chose to not show the logbook. You are aware.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. We're not going to keep doing that because one of the things that people love to function in ARNA is confusion. We're going to get to the point. If you're in ARNA, you can stay, but we're not going to run in circles. This is not what's going to happen, and do not let him back in at this point. So the case that we have here, and this is for each and every one of you guys to be your own judge, okay? We're not going to... You don't have to think what I think, what anyone else think. I want you to examine what is here. It says Aboriginal Republic of North America, Jural Society, case 1, 6 month, 30th day, and the year. It says Aboriginal Republic of North America via Chief Executive Xi-Amaru Nnakina Xi-Amaru. So this case was brought by Chief of ARNA against Indigenous of the North, the business, Nnakina Xi-Amaru, my ex, any current employees, independent contractors, and other staff of Indigenous of the North. Now, that is very interesting because if I'm not mistaken, there is someone who is in ARNA who is currently, who used to be a part of Indigenous of the North, who is now a minister of something, culture or something, but that's what they did. So it says ARNA funds collected by Indigenous of the North. So it says Indigenous of the North now dissolved by order of Chief Executive. So it's so interesting because if I'm not mistaken, this was a case, according to Mr. Bolon, that was done by whatever Jural Society or people that they had in there, but it just says by order of the chief executive was a law form of the ARNA, which is ARNA. It says the form was ran by Nnakina Xi-Amaru and Xi-Amaru, both nationals of ARNA. Both parties were jurists contracted to perform the duties of jurists and law form operations. Nnakina Xi-Amaru is Honduran national who is not a national by right, as expressed in the ARNA Constitution. National by rights are the misnomer African American who, by just solely and just sanguineous, are the people who are nationals by right, as expressed in the ARNA Constitution. Now, I'm happy that he brought us to the case because now we're going to go back to the screenshots. Okay, can someone read the gray, please?
Yeah, let's go back to the screenshots. I want to add context. Remember, I added context earlier. Remember when you showed the messages earlier?
Mm-hmm. What
And
did
you
you say?
said, and he said, read the Constitution.
No. We're not speculating here. We want to read what he said. If he said read the Constitution in detail, how are you saying that contradicts? So you guys are trying to find loopholes. Can someone
I'm gonna
just
say
read
this.
what they said? What is said? We don't want to think. We don't
I'm
want
gonna
to
say this and I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave it
Okay,
alone.
go
Okay.
ahead.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
You were not a national by right. You were a national by permission via your husband because you are not of the lineage. You are not. You are Honduras.
Wait. So
You're not of the
who are
lineage.
she's? So who are she's again?
You understand? So understand that you was not of the lineage.
Okay.
Okay.
So who
all of those. I'm gonna say this. All of those who are not of the lineage, you know for a fact, are not a part of ARNA unless
who has right to being a part of ARNA, just so you can make that clear to the people who may want to join you guys.
The so-called African American who's been denationalized. You know this though. We all know this, right? And you were a national by permission. You were not a national by right because you were not a part of the bloodline, which is the African American bloodline. You're from Honduras. You understand what I'm saying? And you know we have something else for those people in ARNA, correct?
Okay. So are you saying that the people who are currently being placed, so you're saying that the chief publicly, wait, if that's the case, is it true that you guys have a jurist by the name of Kojo, who is from Africa, who is a part of ARNA and holds position?
What is the IPA?
What is the IPA? Kojo in the IPA?
Kojo's father is Black American. Kojo's father is Black American. Stop it. His mother's African. Stop it.
So Kojo's so he has right to being in ARNA. That's fine. Trust me, guys. No one wants to be in ARNA. So
I'm asking you, what is the IPA? What are you familiar with the IPA?
You have to explain that since you're here defending your jurisdiction. What is the IPA?
Okay. We have ARNA for those who are direct descendants of the African Americans, and then we have the IPA for everyone else, like my African brothers and my Caribbean brothers and sisters. Okay, you know that. The audience don't know that, but you know that. So we have two separate things. You were able to be in ARNA via your husband being of the lineage. Not you being of the lineage. You are not of the lineage. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, thank you for clarifying. So this part where he says absolutely that's in your right is actually false. So are you saying that so when you guys said that he made a jurist after this event, which in here he says, I don't see anybody here that could come close to operating this right. So you're saying since October 8th to January, all of a sudden ARNA has people that can operate ARNA? Is that what you're saying? Let me bring it back so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Are you guys saying here?
Wait, can he clear something for me? Can you clarify something for me? Because if I'm correct, Indigenous American and African American was placed that was already here in America was also taken to the Caribbean, other places of North America. Am I correct?
That is correct. So
So she will be part of it by lineage.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. No, pause.
Isn't she part of the whole landmass of the North America?
Hold on.
North America is American from America.
No, we're not going to argue about that. We're not going to argue about that because at the end of the day, you guys love talking about the Mayans. You guys love talking about the Xi in Mexico. So guess what?
We have rules.
Is a part of Central America. So if I am not a part of ARNA, that's fine. We're not here to argue about that. So one, I'm going to take it right here. It says, so I guess I was wrong for interpreting absolutely as a fact because the word absolutely means for facts, right? And it says that's in your right. But I guess some people say it's when you read your may you read your constitution in detail. That's the part we have to focus on, according to what is being told right now. We're just gonna stick to what is being told. No guessing. This is
It sounds like the chief didn't know his own laws.
Okay, so now let's move forward.
No, it doesn't, because he said read the Constitution. That's the
Okay,
that's the
so
gem
this
that's
was
showing.
posted, pause, guys, or else let's move forward. So
But
this
why
was
would you lie
posted
to
right
her and say
after
that
that
she can
message.
run?
What does it say here? For those of you who have position in ARNA, can you please read what it says right here?
The only woman in ARNA capable of running ARNA is my little sis, Azor Ariel. Everybody else is laughable, literally.
Okay, and can you read what I said when it says Nnakina Xi-Amaru?
Let's see what the people will have to say about that.
Okay.
Just send her a friend request. I'll always support y'all.
I appreciate you. Okay, so let's, because there is a case. Now, I want you guys to remember there is a case about a coup, about stealing. Now, keep in mind, none of that is currently being mentioned up until this point. So let's keep moving forward. Now, they want to talk about the case, but they don't want to talk about this. So we'll bring this part up. Who wants to read starting from the left? Can you guys read what it says when it starts with peace?
Peace. I will be careful of what you doing. You may not like the end result. Maybe you just need to take some time off and do some reflecting. You
What
have
was
freedom.
my response? Go ahead, Raf. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have freedom of expression. Thank you for your input.
Can you keep going?
Sure. All right. You may not like to hear this, but there is always a better to handle to frustrations or disputes. We have protocols and we have procedures, and the public is not the best place to do this. You should know that, but what you're doing is not how we function properly, and it is coming off dysfunctional. You will see coming a lot of gigavolts coming your way. So I would advise you to stand down before things get worse.
Okay, by just hearing that, no guessing, no anything of what you feel, would you say that was a threat?
Sounds threatening.
Okay, did you hear anyone mention
Yes.
injury? Of funds being taken, anything being done to anyone other than, according to this message, previous message, which is no one, it says the only woman in ARNA capable of running ARNA is my little sis. Everyone else is laughable. Let's see what the people will have to say. And the people did speak. I just want you guys to understand that that's what's coming up next, is the people are speaking. Okay, these are some of the people that spoke. Now, did they, based on what you're reading just so far, because we're going to continue, but based on what you just read, did you hear anyone talking about injury to anyone at this point in time, where they're like, you guys are going down because you have hurt the community, you have done something dangerous to the community, based on what you just heard?
No, I didn't hear that in there.
Okay. Anyone else?
Where?
Confirm?
Hear it where? Where you asking to hear it at?
We're reading. He said the people. I said the people will speak. So we'll see what the people think. We're following along. Then we're gonna go back, because again, the case that is currently present on the internet, that currently has me supposedly on a wanted list, is that I did a lot of dangerous things in ARNA, and I need to be publicly punished. And we are currently, even now, committing fraud according to ARNA. So we just want to follow the timeline so that the people can decide to never deal with us ever again, or make their own decision and think that ARNA may be the best place for them, to be honest. That's really what this is.
And you're basing that off of cherry-picked screenshots? That's what you're
Yeah,
basing that off of?
because we already know we can't really trust ARNA to make a real judgment, because there was a person currently telling us that ARNA didn't have anything in place, and then they elected people. But based on the case that we just saw, that the decision was made according, and I don't want to speculate, let's go back to the case. It says here,
Can I make one comment?
Indigenous to the now dissolved by order of chief executive. So who was the chief executive in this case?
Can I ask you a question, sis?
Can I make one? Let me make one comment, please, Sister Naima. Let me make one comment. This is private. Let me make one comment.
Go ahead.
Nnakina, I've spoken personally to Chief several times. You're going to be charged in the U.S. jurisdiction, so this is all fun and games, hee hee ha ha. But it's going to get there. So
why am I being charged again? So that the people can know not to.
You'll see. No. It's your case. It's not for the public. You're going to see, and you're going to go.
Do you guys need an address? Because this case didn't work and people saw who is who. You'll be found. Confirm who, when it comes to the services, products, and people who are consistently reaching out to you guys.
It'll be discussed in court.
Do you currently have any active case on the jurisdictions
It'll be discussed in court.
Something I see is that I keep seeing people threaten her in those text messages, and then you guys are threatening her right now. That's not cool. That's really not cool.
He's not letting
You don't
nobody
sound very
speak.
professional.
We literally got.
Listen.
He's not letting anybody speak. I got kicked out. I got kicked out of the room for telling y'all why.
You're getting kicked out again if you don't.
Because I told why the case happened, sister. But what did I do wrong? By you asked the question of what was the case,
and I'm telling you that this case was appointed based on elected officials, but it says indigenous. It was dissolved by an order of chief executive. Were you the chief executive of ARNA for this case?
My answer was you had a case because you were a jurist. Can we just get to the point? You were a jurist. The way jurists working out the way.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of getting tired of those of you who are. Yes, you either quiet. You can stay and talk after, but we're gonna get through this case. Since this is here, we brought what you guys want to talk about.
Of the reason?
No, at this point, because we already know you guys lie, so we're just entertaining this.
Can I just explain what a jurist is then, and then I'll shut up for the rest of the call?
So was Kingway a jurist at the time?
Can I explain what one is, and then anybody can answer your question? I think it makes sense to explain what it is, and I'll shut up.
Well, the reality is no, because this is our jurisdiction.
So y'all do understand this is why she doesn't want to do this. So I don't have to say anything else the rest of the call.
There's not going to be any more discussion from you. So sorry about that, but we're going to continue because we don't have time to waste. We're just entertaining this. So for those of you who are here who need clarity, again, we want to make sure that you understand that there is another jurisdiction, indigenous jurisdiction. It's called ARNA. It stands for Aboriginal Republic of North America. And apparently it has connections for those who are African American only, and then the IPA is a system for other so-called indigenous people, but who can't make the cut. So if you are interested and feel that we over here are criminals at the Xi-Amaru Republic, you have somewhere to go, okay? So ARNA is open to that, but we're going to talk about this because we're never going to talk about this again. That's really why we're here. We're never talking about this again. So
did you invite ARNA nationals for us to have a conversation, or you only wanted to speak just on your side and you didn't want ARNA?
It's not really about ARNA. It's because what we've learned so far is that you guys don't actually like truth, and you're bringing a lot of confusion to the platform, and we don't want confusion because now someone's talking about, oh, there's another case against you. We don't have time for if you guys are bringing, how about that? Bring the case. That's
okay, so let me you stole the money.
We're ready.
You stole the money. You can kick me out. You stole the money. The case is right in front of all of you.
Okay, you stole the money from ARNA, and that's why ARNA cannot provide services, according to many people in here. That's why ARNA is still not up and running, according to people, because let's see, let me pull up the case. According to people in ARNA, apparently...
Answer the question. Where is the money for the people you signed up?
Where is the money? I actually do have the answer to that. So when this all happened, what happened not short after this, and we will talk about where is the money, okay? I can't wait to get to that part to answer that question. Thank you for reminding me. Where is the money?
Where's the money?
The same part where the one that you could have gone. But I'm gonna let you know how it's gone. So from the next slide, guys, in the middle, let's continue reading. So we already read Kojo. Now we have Mercedes Lewis. Can someone read what she said next? Can someone read?
You have the case on the screen, which we
still
can
have the case on the screen. You're still not answering the fact that you have
And
to
it says
send
right there,
money
she
to
made
every
it clear
person
that
that you
we
sign up.
still, according to ARNA, we are thieves. And anyone who has previously had a service with us at Aboriginal Ministry of Justice,
We
can you
not
please
about to do that.
confirm
Every
if you
person
have
that you
stole
sign up,
from
you're
us?
supposed to send money to headquarters. Where's the money? That is the protocol. You are
That's where
every
we're
person
getting
you sign
at.
up, you're supposed to send the money. Where's the money?
Where is your money? You can't question me
Thank
now.
you.
You guys already made
I
a
hope y'all
thief.
heard
I'm
her
a
say
You
thief.
the
literally
money is
stole the
gone.
name.
I'm a thief according to ARNA records. So our people, the people in here understand that. So thank you guys for sharing. Give it a
You
minute now.
literally stole the Xi-Amaru name. That's the name of our government, and you took it and hijacked the
The
name.
name,
That's
that just
confusion.
shows how little you guys
That's
actually
confusion.
understand about your lineage. Where does the she come from? If
That's
you
the
think,
confusion right there. You're literally calling your government the same as our government.
bye. We don't have any more time for the noise. Can someone please continue reading from Mercedes Lewis so we can finish?
I got it.
Go ahead.
Hell nah. I hope you get kicked out of ARNA. You're dysfunctional. You have no respect for men and you have no respect for your tribal family. I will vote in honor to get you removed from ARNA. You should never have been allowed in. You said, I don't want the smoke. Now come bring it. Unblock me. You got my number if you want to call me.
Okay, just from hearing what was just read, did you guys hear anything about me being called a thief, a person who may, other than dysfunctional, did you hear anything that suspects some form of injury business-wise?
No.
You've only presented a few people. The tribe has hundreds of people, so this is not giving a full reflection of the truth.
The case that you keep
I am
spamming
not
the
one
chat
of
with
those
has been
liars.
presented
I'm
for everyone
sorry.
as well. So please stop speaking over the
Yeah.
moderators.
Okay, so we who have sense, because those who have ears, let them hear, because that's why we're here. Now let's follow on. Now keep in mind, at this moment, this individual, Kinwei Xi, is
Why do these matter so
also
much? I don't
on
know.
the wanted list from ARNA. Now keep in mind, he was a part of that case that they brought against me, according to all the season. But let's read what he just said. What does it say?
Shantae, how do I end this call? How do I end this call?
Don't worry, we're removing you. Make it easy for you, Mr. Loris. Okay, go ahead. So what does it say here next to, okay, I tried to be respectful? Can you read? Anyone wants to volunteer what it says? Okay,
I'll go ahead for this. Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead for the sake of time. Okay, I tried to be respectful for you and your family for what I thought you were holding down for this nation, even when hearing you were embarrassing us every time you spoke publicly about jurist and general honor procedures. But for the sheer disrespect I'm seeing from you, while you not even from this bish in America, TF, are you thinking you doing stereotypical black foreigner shit and you've been even though I know you don't like me for some reason, I still was putting on for your weird ass with clients and complaining. I was still a real Naga Zacher. Get your girl, bruh, because I'm on real Naga code. This violation for what she has done for the goddamn globe, my Naga, off code shit, because you like because you liking the post. My G, take this ARNA gang serious, G, deathly serious. Get your girl. Sounds like a threat.
Okay, what was the response?
You have freedom of expression.
Okay.
Thank you for your input.
Okay. Thank you guys who participated. Move on. Now, just before we move on, can you guys please confirm if any form of other than, so he did say that there were some stereotypical black foreigner stuff, but from what we're seeing here, what would you say is currently the issue based on just what was read? So you're raising your hand, go ahead.
Yeah. So this looks like these people are really upset
I'm not a part of any one of these. I just saw this online. I'm interested in coming to the birth conference.
Guys,
But yeah, but I'm looking at this and these people are really upset, and it looks like something harmful is being done to them. You've shown quite a few of screenshots, and yeah, it looked like they mad for some
appreciate
reason.
your
So
feedback.
I don't.
With the goal, Mrs. Shauna, since you are not actually a part of any, is we want to make sure that people like you before you even consider, if this is even something you decide to do, that this will no longer, because we actually have stuff going on. And however, we do understand that the harm that can come from someone saying, oh, you just paid into something, they're scamming. So we want to make sure that whoever comes in next to our jurisdiction comes in with full clarity. That's why this will be made public, that you, based on whether you think we are wrong and not good for you, or you think the other jurisdiction may be a better fit, that you can make that decision from an informed point. But we will not, because again, like I said, we have a lot going on in the Xi-Amaru Republic, but this is just something that we do have to clear up.
Okay, yes. And I thank you for doing this, because I know it's very important to know what you're getting yourself into before you pay your money and things like that.
Correct.
So also I do have another question though, if you give me 1 second, because I would like to make an honest judgment.
Yes, ma'am.
Right here. So the people that was just speaking, I saw you hit like some people off of here. Like I definitely respect you doing that, because the people is doing too much that you feel like yeah, do whatever. But they was upset. So I'm from Memphis, right? And so like when people be upset, like usually people is upset for a reason. Nah, for real though. It's not funny though, for real. I'm saying like when people are upset, it means that they upset for a reason and something is being done to them.
Would you like to know the
So
reason?
I want to see the case that they were screaming about.
We'll get to it, and I'm happy that you mentioned that they are upset and it is for a reason, and that will be discussed going on here.
Yeah, because people, people feel disrespected, or something. So I think that this should be cleared up. They saying that you really not from here either. So
Yes,
me
I
being
was
a person,
born.
I
Yes.
know I'm from here.
Yeah.
Listen, hold up. I know I'm from here though. I've done my genealogy. My people, Chickasaw, Cherokee, Seminole, right? So with a person that's like you, like an immigrant over here trying to start a tribe. That's how I feel.
But
and they saying that you stole some money. So I think that like that's the next step that we should really begin to, because you're kind of incriminating yourself by showing these screenshots right now. Like you're showing that these people is upset for a reason. And so they was just saying that it's a case against you in their jurisdiction. So it sounds like they're pretty set up to have an actual case. Like you trying to say that they don't have no people. So I'm just trying to make an informed decision, like because that makes sense to me.
Hey, I appreciate you jumping on, to be honest, and I love the fact that you are taking what you're considering doing serious. When it comes to our jurisdiction, we can't speak of who other people, because you have to understand when we talk about jurisdiction, and I'm going to get back into this case because, again, like I said, this is going to be the first and only time we'll ever speak on this, because we actually do work in real time. But nevertheless, I know that the enemy goal right now is to cause a lot of confusion and to bring a lot of division, you understand, against what is actually being done for the people in this land. One of the things that is very important to pay attention to, and I would say, and this is why I personally, with my own personal faith, it says, judge not according to appearance, but with righteous judgment. And that is what I'm hoping each and every one of you, regardless if you agree with me or not, or if you agree with the other person, I'm asking each and every one of you to judge with righteous judgment rather than just what you see. Okay, so we're gonna take one more person because I see one more hand, Mr. Donald.
Donald McKinney, is that me?
Yes, sir. you want to
Yeah.
say something?
Yes. Hey, thank you so much for this. And I guess my question would be, why is ARNA asking if you wasn't an elected official? So they said that you wasn't elected, that you were appointed to a position, and they saying that you owe them money or like you were receiving funds. So I'm like, okay, if you didn't have any position or you were just, was basically not elected or you didn't have any position, why they ask you about money? It's almost like a double standard that ARNA is kind of saying, like on one end, okay, we're going to give you a little bit of position of power to do whatever it was you all were doing, and then they're kind of trying to pull it back for whatever reason because it wasn't going the way that they wanted it. I don't know, but that's what it kind of sounds like to me.
No, she keeps cutting us off and putting us off the line. She was a jurist and she stole the money. She stole the money. She was a jurist. She was given a position that she studied for, and she stole the money. And she don't want to deal with that, y'all. She gonna kick us off because she stole the money. She don't want to deal with that, y'all.
You can stay, but you have to be respectful. That's all I'm saying.
I've been nothing. You only cut me
I
off
was
because I keep
respectful
asking
earlier
you
and got kicked
questions.
off for making one statement. So
because you guys have done how many videos? Can you drop them in the chat so that people can go find them? Because this is the only one.
And we sat here the whole time and been quiet and was respectful till you started dropping people off because all we asked you was one question.
No, because we're getting to it. We're showing the receipts. We're showing.
It ain't nothing to get to. Explain to the people that you were given a position that you studied for and that you're supposed to give 360 to the government that you're a part of so that we can run the government, and you chose to not give the money. And then when we asked you where the money was, you have already said the money's gone, like Jackie Robinson. Nothing else needs to be talked about.
Did your chief create a panic through the nation during this time? You said you weren't even a part of ARNA officially.
You were a jurist. Answer to your people why you were a jurist. Jurist was there at the time. Let's talk about that. Jurist was there at the time. Jurist been there since 2000. Jurist has been there since 2007. And the videos have been there for that. Why have you not given the money as a jurist?
Can I address the room real quick? 2.5. Based on the dude, what he said. You don't have to be appointed a power position.
Okay, I'm sorry. I wanted them to have, like, the goal was after everything is done, but they keep.
Why are you kicking people off for talking?
Because they're not getting.
They're not being disrespectful.
If you guys want to stay now, those who want to participate and have a voice, let's wait till everything is presented. That way, everyone can have full context. Because we don't have all day for this. That's really.
There was a brother that asked.
The context has been established.
There's a brother that asked a question, and we wanted to answer it. That was all.
Exactly. Answer the question. Where's the money?
In the process. Okay, the money.
It's an easy question.
It is an easy question, and it will be answered.
So answer it. Why are you waiting?
No, because you guys don't get into our jurisdiction and make rules. Are you from ARNA?
That doesn't matter.
Are you a part of?
I'm not a part of. I'm not a part of anything. I'm just confused why.
Okay then. Well, since you are a neutral party, I will answer the question for you. So what's going on right now, just to bring context, is at this point in time, what's going on is, first of all, everyone has been in a place of gratitude, admiration. People have felt like this was a safe space for them to be. Now, once your leadership gets on the internet and says it is war, go take your money, call your bank, get your money back. Business went bankrupt from. It was up, and we have people who were employed. We were trying to tell people, calm down, we will serve you. But the people started to hit the system, because that's what it was about from the beginning, which is we were getting too much power, and he wanted to humble us, because that's why he said, what did he say? He said, the only woman in ARNA capable of running ARNA is such and such. Everybody else is laughable, delusional. So then he had to show me, and he had to humble me by showing me that at the end of the day, he has full control.
Right, that makes sense. So
he went
why?
in. Let me finish, sir. Since you want, I'm gonna give you the whole thing. Okay. So what he did from this post is he blocked me. Then he went live. Keep in mind, right now, everyone assumes that everything is in good standing, and all of a sudden, now we've become the worst of the worst. Okay. So now everybody is in a panic. And if we have, as God is my witness, our team was working and then we had nothing else to do, because at the end of the day, we couldn't keep people on to provide service to. And what was already understood between us, so what they're talking about, where did the money go, is their chief bankrupted the business and then told the people that the money was stolen. Therefore, now people are assuming that the money was stolen. But what really happened is every person who heard him got scared, took their money back, and now operations was shut down.
So how did they take the money back? And why was the money going in the first place?
Can you file a dispute with your bank? We never collect payment through Cash App, Zelle, or anything. If you believe that something is fraudulent, can you reach out to your bank right now and report it?
Can.
Yes.
Now imagine the most powerful person in your community right now getting on the internet and warning you that there's danger. Get out. What would you do?
Take your money back.
I would leave, but if you collected the money, then where did the money go? You collected the money.
Hold on, order. It's not your time to speak. It's not your time to speak. Order.
The people themselves. And guess what? He actually told them, take your money back and come to us. We will serve you. And as today, there are still people who took their money back, went over there, and still haven't been served. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what they're talking about is money that is stolen, is actually a bill that ended up not being able to be paid. Now, imagine if not even the IRS operates like this. You understand what I'm saying? But what this did for me personally is let me wake up to realize how dangerous people can be in our community. That, again, at this time, I was a mother of a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. This was my livelihood. This was something that I took pride in developing, not just for my people, but for my family. And this person, what they did is created a defamation against my character and caused, because the system broke by his own
1 second, Keith. Michael, please mute yourself. If you're not speaking,
I'm sorry. No,
right now while she's speaking.
That just doesn't make sense, because where did the money go? You
Michael,
collected
it's
the
not
money.
your time to speak. What makes sense is that you're not muted right now. Please stop speaking.
Hold on.
Order.
So
I'm just waiting. There's one answer that the entire
You're still
group is waiting
Stop
for.
speaking
There's
while
one.
others are
There's one
speaking.
answer that she can't answer. There's
What
one
is
answer
that?
that she has not answered.
Because you keep talking. Because you
Right.
keep
Be
talking.
quiet,
Close
sir.
your mouth while I keep
Listen,
speaking.
be quiet.
Or leave.
Be quiet. If she
Michael.
collected the money,
This
where
is not
did the
your
money go?
jurisdiction. Stop speaking over the chief.
Okay.
Get out.
Thank you, Joshua. We're not doing that, because there are some people, guys, that are going to be here not for clarity, but to create chaos and confusion. That's really what's not being tolerated in this situation.
I've been around a lot of that.
So that's not
hello,
what we
excuse
do
me.
over here.
Yeah, and
Can
I
you all hear
respect
me?
that.
Charmaine, do you want to add something? Is that
Hi, yes.
okay?
Hello, everyone. My name is Charmaine. I'm new to the family. Literally just submitted all of my paperwork and money and all that last week. So just for clarification for me right now, because I'm so new, the money that I paid last week, for example, where is that? Is that what we're questioning? Is
No,
that
ma'am.
money safe?
No, this
Okay.
is back in 2021. That if you went through Aboriginal Ministry of Justice, you have to understand the Xi-Amaru Republic is a system that was developed after this, because we understood the importance of our people having an actual system that they can trust and support them. You understand? So this is showing you how we got here.
Got it.
But
Thank
we
you so
also-
much.
Yeah, you're welcome. But we also understand that, we may not be the right fit for some people. And we also understand that when words are said, how dangerous it can affect people. I don't know if anyone ever been lied on, or just something that happened that you just can't, and it's so big that it becomes the truth. we understand in the Xi-Amaru Republic, we're currently growing. And because we're growing, we understand that the enemy is laying in anger, because what they want to say is our growth is based on scamming, deceit, and all the above. But the reality is God elevates us because we work in humility. I have a team that I always remind them that this is not our business, that this is not even something that we should ever take lightly. And because of that, however, I know that the enemy is going to eventually come back and try to cause confusion while we are actually advancing for our people in the Xi-Amaru Republic. And we just don't want to have this conversation again. So this will be made public, not to prove yes or no, but so whoever wants access to it we can just reference it, and we don't have to keep talking about this because we have real things coming up, you understand? And we want to make sure that the people who are in the Xi-Amaru Republic don't get hit by this confusion, because we understand how dangerous liars on the internet can be. Now, if you feel like we may still not be a good fit for you, that is fine as well. We're not here to convince anyone to join our team. We don't believe in teams.
I have a question.
Do whatever suits you. Kelly,
Yeah. Yeah, I have a question. I'm new here too. This is my first night. I can appreciate the transparency. It's looking sticky and messy, but hey, if we gonna call ourselves and do what we have to do, this is something that has to be done to be able to have transparency and trust through our tribes. So with that being said, I do have a question. Oh shit, I forgot my fucking question. Oh, okay. So these charges and allegations that this happened to you, is this an ongoing thing, or did they make
I'm sorry for cutting you off. So what happened, and this is why we're getting to that point, is so one, the warning was sent out that I was going to realize that he had more power than me. So what happened next is the smear campaign. So everyone, now keep in mind, these three people, so you see Kojo, and if they want to say I'm a liar, once they see this, I will love to talk to them. But Kojo Shabazz, Mercedes Lewis, Kinway Xi-Amaru, these people, what they did before this is they copied my then website, okay? And they wanted to say that they were going to infringe upon my rights as a business owner, and I should have been okay with it because it's the tribe. And when it comes to me, is I do believe in operating upright. And because I didn't just say, no, go ahead and copy my work, just do everything that I'm doing, and that is fine, even though we get consistent reports that you guys do not provide good service. So taking, not only looking like us, but mirroring to us at that point was dangerous towards my brand.
Has there been any kind of judgment or any kind
they created judgment. So they have a court
No.
system.
I'm asking within your tribe, or has there been any kind of closure or judgment with this case within your people? This is between two different tribes, right? So technically there hasn't really been a legitimized court or hearing or whatnot where there has been.
This is God's hearing right now. You are here to be the jurist, and you will rule on the case on what you assume to be righteous judgment. So I would say just keep listening, because at the end of the day, if we are going to be a people who are able to come together and govern ourselves, specifically, I'm only talking for the Xi-Amaru Republic at this point. If we're going to come together and govern ourselves, we have to be able to handle things. Because a lot of people do look at stuff like this and they automatically say, oh, it's messy, it's this and it's that. But one of the things that I've learned on this journey is liars tend to be so loud that they create a lot of mess. And the strategy is to make sure that people don't get the help that they need. That's really what it comes down to. Because you never heard them talk about, hey, we can serve you. We offer good solutions for you. All it is don't work with them. Don't work with them. Don't work with them. But it's not like we are here to offer you a solution. And we always tell people, don't go with us if you're not clear on it. Because at the end of the day, we don't care if you are, we don't want your money. Like that's the crazy part about it, is they talk about money because That's really what started to happen, is because Indigenous of the North was growing, and because the business had so much reputation, the chief himself knew at that given point, because he did start a rap career, that he didn't have direct influence with the people. So the only way to, even if there was an election, to have influence was he had to ruin my reputation. So he had to bring up my personal life. He had to compare, okay, you are doing all of these bad things. But if you pay attention, there was no discussion of that prior to this happening. And that's really why we say this is not the season to judge by just looks. This is the season for us to become wise. And to be honest, this happened to me because I used to be, and I'm just going to be honest, I used to be pro-Black. You understand what I'm saying? I used to think that if you look like me, you're my brother, you're my sister. But what life has showed me is that that is not what we're against. It's not about this. It's about being able to discern good and evil. That's it. Good versus evil. This isn't a color thing. Even when it comes to our nation, we're not here because you are Indigenous, you should join us. No, this is not about that. This Xi-Amaru Republic is about us coming together, building a system. And for those of you who may seem like, oh, how is it that you are here and you have developed an Indigenous government? You should ask the same federal government who you want to potentially question me on how they do it, because a lot of times, because we lack knowledge and understanding, we don't actually understand how systems are made and the power that they have. Like, this internet stuff is not what we do. We interact with the other jurisdiction, and we don't actually have these kind of problems, to be honest. We have great relationships in the other jurisdiction. However, what we have seen, and not just seen today, but what was revealed to me with history, is that the enemy never comes from outside. The enemy never comes from outside. And what I mean by that, for those, hear me, who are part of the Xi-Amaru Republic, is this is why you cannot be looking from this. You cannot be looking at this. I want, especially if you're in here, I don't care if you're in ARNA at this point, but for those of you who are in the Xi-Amaru Republic, we are about movement. We are about power. And at the end of the day, if we are going to grow and if we are going to be a people that govern ourselves, we have to move in excellence. That's really the whole point, is because the enemy goal is to create this chaos. You see what I'm saying? The enemy goal is to get us distracted, because we actually do have a lot planned for this. We have so much going on for our community that is making the enemy angry right now, as always. Because before this happened, hold on, sir. Before this happened, we were planning to, at the time, me personally, I was planning to start teaching Indigenous business and leaving the team to manage the other stuff. And see, that's the whole point, is you guys have to understand, like, this, and this is what God's revealed to me, is this wasn't even about me. See, you guys think it's about me, but this was always about you. You understand what I'm saying? The enemy goal is to get you to look at this from a place and you start saying, you know what? I'm going to just stay where I'm at. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm just going to be over here. And then you don't actually team up with things that are going to align with you. You understand what I'm saying? So we, in this season, mark my words, and this is why ARNA is coming to an end, because they continue to create chaos. Instead of focusing, and that's what they don't understand, is we don't grow because of popularity. We grow because we do the work. And right now we are in the process of hiring more people, because we have seen more growth, because more people are becoming aware of their information and how they can operate. So therefore, that is why
because
we
you
continue
stole
to invest.
$16,000 from ARNA.
Okay,
Are you saying since 2021, ARNA still doesn't have anything to show for? I heard you guys still collect
No, the
dues.
statement was you stole 16,000. Now, why do you keep talking about the money that ARNA has every time somebody asks you about the 16,000?
Because at this point, 2021 has gone, sir. I'm sorry. Like, I understand what you want to get at.
How was it addressed if she was a jurist and she has a constitutional right to pay the money she didn't? What are y'all talking about?
You just said I had no authority in ARNA.
And you didn't pay it. No, that's a lot. That's no authority. That's a lot.
You understand? I couldn't even be in ARNA. So if that's even the case, I don't even understand how I would owe up until this point. But for those of you who want to believe that this chief of the Xi-Amaru Republic is a thief, I respect that. You can go ahead. They have a case that they have drafted to perfection to create any type of, to scare you, because that's really what they do, is they operate in the spirit of fear. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the enemy, is he likes to create fear to get you to not move on you. To believe it or not, the reason ARNA, the reason why God, it's so funny because they literally told me to go do my own thing at this point. But even that still upsets them, because at the end of the day, you have to realize that the enemy's goal, and this is why I want you to understand, for those of you who didn't even know this even happened, is the enemy didn't want you to get to this point. You see what I'm saying? The enemy didn't want you to get, because there is a breakthrough that's happening for Indigenous people, but not all Indigenous people will benefit, because God is making the time come. Now, I do see I am who I am with your hand up. Go one moment, Miss. He had his hand up for a minute. Go ahead. I am who I am. Do you still have your hand up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, what did you want to say?
The whole reason for me joining the Xi-Amaru is because when I read the website, it was talking to me. And I understand, every organization is going to have its problems or whatnot. But what's the ultimate goal? To me, the ultimate goal is for our people to wake up and have an outlet from the system that's been lying to us our whole life. I'm focused on the ultimate goal.
I definitely
I understand there's a path to everything, but if both tribes have one goal, and that's to wake up the people and to build our communities and build our nation, what's the problem?
I'm happy you asked that, because to be honest, that's why I didn't even want to be honest, I never wanted to create the Xi-Amaru Republic. That's the reason why I reached out, because God, in my heart, I never wanted to separate the people. But what was revealed to me by God is he is about to bring judgment on ARNA, and he wants to make sure that the people have an option. Now, for those who want to go down with it, that's fine. You understand what I'm saying? But ARNA has caused a lot of injury towards many people at this point. And it's just what it is. I'm not even here to defend myself, because many people who are part of this nation knows me. So I'm not even here to talk about that. But at this point, we do understand, because we are growing, that the enemy is going to try to use these things to bring injury to the future relationships that we are going to have. And that's why we're bringing this up. It's not to have a continuous discussion about this, but we do understand that the enemy goal is to bring up the past, especially when progress is happening, because we are on the move. Now, Shannon.
Hello?
Shannon, go ahead. You wanted to add something? Or Shanna, did I say that right? Trying to go in order. Go ahead, Ms. Campbell, go ahead.
Okay, I do have a question. They keep bringing up, and this is for they keep bringing up the money, but why did the money come up after you said, I would like to run, after you confronted the chief, and y'all talked about why did it come out after and not before? If you were doing all this sneaking around and stealing people's money, why wasn't that brought up before all this came out? Why wasn't it brought up? Yeah, I'm trying to get understanding on that.
I appreciate you asking that, and only they in themselves can answer that, whether they want to believe the lie. And I do believe at the end of the day, the lie is supposed to keep some people trapped, because that's God's divine order, because we don't need everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So at this point, but God does have a judgment, and I do have to carry on, and I do want to make sure that that is discussed before we're finished, because a lot is about to happen, and God wants those of you you who are to just see it. I don't know why, but and I think it's really to be a reminder for those of us who are in the Xi-Amaru Republic that we should never think we get so far ahead that we can't be humble. Because what is about to happen to ARNA is not going to be pretty. So what God has against ARNA, he says, well, I didn't even finish with the chief. Let me start here. So your leadership was a form based on everything that was presented. Leadership was a form when it had no function. So your name was guarded when few knew any good thing connected to ARNA. And again, this is a message for the chief. Your mission was protected when it was most fragile, and yet you repaid good with evil. Psalms 35:12. They reward the evil for good to the sorrow of my soul. Psalms 109:5. They have repaid me evil for good and hatred for my friendship. Proverbs 17:13. If anyone returns evil for good, evil will never leave their house. So you turn around and publicly slander those who privately defended you. You betrayed the ones who elevated you. You conspired against the very foundation that held you up. You bit the hand that fed you, because what they forget to mention is we were giving the chief money, and yet he still got on the internet and say no one's paying dues. That's the whole point on why we were like, this isn't a safe place, because I personally know that we send you money every quarter, and yet there is no progress. You understand? That's really what was happening in ARNA. Before all of this happened, and this is not to slander anyone, this is just truth. He went on the internet and brought a national family and exposed their personal affairs publicly. And then again, this is a time when the nation is very fragile. You understand what I'm saying? And that's when we realized like this couldn't go on anymore. That's when I said, you know what? I may be able to intervene. That's really what's going on. But your spiritual seat, because Deuteronomy 19:18-19, if the witness proves false, meaning even me, do them what they intended to do to the innocent. That's what I want to see. If I am guilty, may everything I'm talking about return to me. Now, your spiritual seat is removed. Your name is marked. Your household is under divine judgment, Ali. Judgment against appointed leaders and followers. Ezekiel 34:10. This is what the sovereign Lord says. I am against the shepherds and will hold them accountable for my flock. So the leaders you appointed, those who benefited from the corruption and stayed silent, you are not innocent. You received stolen honor. You gained status through lies. You manipulated truth for personal advancement. You refused correction and buried conviction. Isaiah 10:1-3. Woe to those who make unjust laws. What will you do in the day of reckoning? What you helped build will fall apart. What you justified will now expose you. The same judgment that is on the head will reach the tail. To those in ARNA who remain silent, you are not innocent, because there are people who knew better and didn't do anything. To those of you, you witnessed the lies, you saw the betrayal, you heard the defamation, and you stayed silent. And now you even come to our platform to try to defend this mess. Ezekiel 33:6. But if the watchman sees the sword coming and does not blow the trumpet, I will hold them accountable for their blood. Your blood will not be on my hands. That's really why I don't even want to give you guys this warning, to be honest, but I listen to the Lord. So anyways, John 7:24, stop judging by mere appearance. And this is for every one of us moving forward. Stop judging things for what it looks like. The internet is a swamp, okay? And the swamp is set to distract you. This is not the time for you to just get in your feelings, not even with this meeting. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want you guys to sit down here and agree with me. No, pause, learn to be neutral. Do not, just because I like this one or I like that one, that you become dumb and blind, because that's idolatry. And that's why I felt, to be honest, I started to put people on a pedestal and God had to humble me. God says your silence was your judgment. You did not defend the truth. You did not speak up for the innocent. You watched the righteous bleed and said nothing. And because of that, the same judgment will fall on you. Your prayers will be hindered. Your household will feel the weight of unspoken compromise. You will be judged as a co-conspirator in heaven's court. Because at the end of the day, I got real stuff going on. I have real people on here who are waiting on services, who are looking and consistently needing assistance with their life. That is why I don't have to take you all to court, because my God is my judge. And he will not let his word fall short. For those of you, wait here, this is not, and this is another thing too, guys. This is not the time to not understand what is going on, because this is a spiritual attack on everything. Like, the enemy is out, and if you are not getting your house in order, you will deal with, God will deal with you. Like, even those of us who are in here, like, please, I'm telling you guys, something is coming, and this is a time not to scare you, but to examine ourselves, okay? Now, idolatry, witchcraft, and deceptive practices. You no longer serve God. And again, this is for those of you who are in ARNA. You no longer serve God. You serve yourself. You walk in idolatry of money, fame, and influence, witchcraft masked as spiritual services, deception, science like cardiology and emotional manipulation, falsely presented as healing. Deuteronomy 18:10-12. Let no one be found among you who practice witchcraft or divination, for these are detestable to the Lord. Now, I understand that we as a people have a past, and God has revealed to me that many of us don't understand why we got here. This is not the art, this is in general. We got here because of idolatry, guys. It's not because people were so powerful and they were so strong and they overpowered us. No, we started worshiping fake gods. That's why in the ruins we were able to see people worshiping. But if their gods were so powerful, how is it that they became in bondage? If your God had so much power, the gods that you claim are so powerful, why is it that someone else was able to take it? No one took that from us. You understand what I'm saying? God took that from us because we lost the love for our first love, and we started loving other things. Instead of loving the creator, we loved his things. And that is how we ended up in bondage in the Americas. Not because other people came from the world. Like, God always gives you over. And the problem is we have become so blinded by taking accountability for our own life and our own actions that we can't even see where we went wrong. The reason I am bold, the reason why they could create cases, the reason they can lie and I still grow is because it was never man who gave me a title. God cared about the people who are here so much that he said, I didn't even want to do this, guys. I'm telling you all the truth. Like, when this happened to me, I was still going through postpartum. I had a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old at this time. I had no desire. Once I saw how these people turned on me, I had no desire to do this. Hear me, those who have ears. Because I want you to understand that I don't do this because I want to. I do it because God said so. Because he knows there's something in this land for his people. And yes, I may be Moses. I was born in another country, but I know my heart, and I know God sent me here for you. It's not, and I'm not saying that from an arrogant place because I want to be liked, because I need to be liked. I could do anything. I'm a very talented person, but when I tried to walk away, when I tried to stay away, God pulled me back and he said, it's not even about them. The reason the name is still the name, Trust me, I never wanted it. I wanted to get rid of it so bad. Who would want to be named after hearing how these people talked about me like a dog? Why would I, in my own good sense, want to keep a name connected to them? But you know what God said? Is they never gave me the name. I never got the name from them. The name does not belong to them. The name is God-given, and it is for his people, and it is for his chosen people, and that is why he's going to uproot ARNA. Because they have made a mess of mishandling God's people, and God is tired of it. So they're coming to an end. They're coming to a ruin. And
I have a quick question.
you no questions yet. You can have your questions at the end. I'm sorry about that, but you just gotta follow through, sir. It says you are no ministers. That's another thing. You guys are manipulators. All of you guys who claim to have position in ARNA, you guys turn away people who come. You're on here now trying to act like you guys so care about justice, but what about the people in your current jurisdiction that continuously cries about the help that they need, about the support that they need? And you guys, instead of focusing on that, you're over here, where's the money? No, complete people's services. This is why God is angry. He's not angry because you guys lied on me. He's angry because you continue. The only reason you guys are together is through hate. You don't even love the people. You don't even care about people. The only thing you guys care about is bringing me down. How can you, sir? How can you say you care about our people when all you want to do is the opposite? Cause disruption, cause distraction. If God is my witness, and guess what? In a case like this case happened and God still increased people. You know how many people came into our jurisdiction? Like, yeah, I came across this, but I can tell you, I can see for myself who you are. And that's not me trying to sound nice. That's not me trying to say you need to like me, because trust me, I'm the least person who cares if anybody likes me. But what I'm telling you is this is a time, because at the end of the day, why I decided to still do this work is because God saw you, those of you who are in here, those of you who are considering coming, those of you who somebody may have not even watched this video yet or seen any of this, may not even understand what's going on, but he wanted to make sure you had a safe place to plant your seeds and grow. Now, after this, you have a decision to make. So that's another thing. He is a just God, and he will give you an opportunity, but it is at the end of the day, your choice. So I'm saying we're not on here begging you guys to believe us. We're not on here begging you to see if we're right or if we're wrong. I'm just telling you, like, this is about you, and may you judge according to righteousness, because something is coming, and the enemy goal is for you not to be protected. The enemy goal is for you to be out there by yourself, and it breaks my heart, but I ain't even gonna go into that. But it says, there is no peace for those of you who are in ARNA, says the God for the wicked, says God for the wicked. That's Isaiah 57:21. From this day forward, you will not find rest. I don't care how much you want to come in here and you want to talk. I'm telling you, from this day forward, you guys will not find rest, not in your mind, not in your body, not in your homes, until you publicly, God said you have to publicly repent. For those of you who have lied, you have 24 hours to repent. 2 Chronicles 7:14, it says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, then I will hear from heaven and heal their lands. God has given you 24 hours to publicly confess the truth, apologize by name to those you harm, not just me, but to each and every person that you guys know you have injured with lies, announce wicked alliances and false titles that you currently have, and return what was stolen. Restore what you destroyed. Proverbs 28:13, whoever conceals their sin does not prosper, but whoever confess and renounce them finds mercy. Private prayers will not be accepted, the Lord said. He said, private apologies will not satisfy the courts of heaven. No sin, your sin, you sin publicly, as you guys can see. They came on here, they talked, they comment, they did all of that. I want you guys to understand, like, that was God's way of displaying these people, because he is about to bring judgment on their homes. And they will have to apologize publicly or face ruin. You understand? So if you sin publicly, which they just did, because they're trying to defend this lie, you must repent publicly. What will happen if you do not repent? I'm glad you asked, because God says what will happen if you do not repent. Here we go. So mark my words, guys. It says, Galatians, first of all, I got to bring this up. Galatians 6:7. It says, be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man sows, that shall he reap. If repentance does not come within 24 hours, and that's why God got so many of you all on here who didn't even know about this, because he wants you guys to see it. Because people, either they will repent publicly, or you will see them fall. The first one, if repentance does not come within 24 hours, here's what God declares: financial collapse. Galatians 1:6. Jesus, I'm so sorry. You earn wages only to put them in a purse with holes. 2, a rotten reputation. Proverbs 10:7. The name of the wicked will rot. 3, sickness and affliction. Deuteronomy 28:60-61. The Lord will bring upon you every kind of sickness. 4, household division. Micaiah 7:6. A man's enemies are the members of his own household. 5, silence from heaven. Isaiah 59:2. Your sins have hidden his face from you. Public exposure. Luke 12:2-3. There is nothing concealed that will not be revealed. I mean, anyone you guys have injured, they will come out. All of those people you guys try to fear, try to manipulate, try to abuse, try to run away, try to falsely accuse. Not just me. I'm just one person that this has happened to, but it's not just me. All of those people will start to speak up and realize that they don't have to be oppressed by you. And to the citizens of the Xi-Amaru Republic, this is important. I really want you guys to understand. Do not take this lightly. This is not just a message for them. This is it. To be honest, it's a mirror for us, okay? It's a mirror for us to see that God is not playing in this season about people. You understand? God is bringing ruin to people, and if you do not get in order with him, you're not going to like it. And I'm telling you that because I don't want you guys to think that coming to the Xi-Amaru Republic mean that we can save you. There's only one savior. We are here to build together, but at the end of the day, God is the one that will bring us through. And if you have anything against God, I understand. Like, we've been through a lot as a people. But he changes the times. He changes the times and season. He's still God. And I understand that there has been a lot that has happened to us, whether it was churches that we've been a part of or communities that we've been a part of, and they have been bad stewards of God's people. You understand? I'm not saying that people don't have the right to feel how they feel about situations, but at the end of the day, ask God to reveal himself to you in this season, especially because God promotes and God removes. If we walk in pride, God will humble us. If we cover sin, he will expose us. That's another thing too. The reason the greats in the past have fallen is because their hands got dirty. Hear me, people. Because ARNA, I ain't scared of them. I really want you guys to understand. I ain't scared of ARNA. I'm scared of God. Okay? Because at the end of the day, God is the final judge. And what he is judging is how you fare him, or do you fare men? God says if you fare like you, that in itself is what the enemy wants. He wants you to be scared of people. Oh, I'm going to do this to you. That is oppression itself. God said, I am not a God of fear. I am the God of loud power and a sound mind. Why is it that you have consistent depression, anxiety? Because the enemy is trying to attack you. And why is it that you grow and then you fall? Because the enemy is trying to attack you, and he doesn't want you to find the real root of the cause. And that is, you're not connecting to the source. These things that he has placed here, they can be used as tools, but if you are not seeking him, you are going to use that thing and it's going to destroy you. Now again, they're big on all of that. Okay, they're big on all of that. They don't talk about God over there. So if you got a problem with that, they might be your people. But I'm telling you guys to hear me. Those of you who have ears, hear me today. If we cover sin, he will expose it. All of the people in history that have fallen, you see, the enemy tries to make you think that the enemy is outside. You see, and that's why God is using ARNA right now, is because you are so focused on the enemy outside that you can't even tell that you have an enemy so up close. When I tell you the shock that I've experienced, and I'm grateful, keep in mind, I really want you guys to hear me. This situation with them, I am not hurt. I'm not, I used to be, but God showed me that he worked it out for my good. You understand what I'm saying? Because imagine being on that. Like you think you're sewing, but these people actually hate you. You see what I'm saying? The way they act, like someone said, you would think that they were hurt so badly by me. You would assume that I caused such great harm to them. But to be honest, just the reality is good and evil can't mix. God said you cannot be yoked with unbelievers. A lot of us end up in situations and in problems because we try to join in with darkness, and darkness hates us. You understand what I'm saying? So now, if darkness loves you, then you better repent, because to be honest, I don't care about ARNA, because what they do for us is they make our job even more easy. Like they make it so easy that now that people come into us and they're like, thank God we found you. Like that's how God works, is he works everything, every experience that you've had, he will use to elevate you. You see, he is such a purposeful God that he will make sure that everything that happens to you, that's what I'm saying. Like what they did, to be honest, is they took away my desire to care about what people thought about me. I didn't realize how much I cared till God revealed it to me, that I was making my reputation an idol. I was so in love with the kind words that I couldn't see that I was in a den of snakes. I love the praises. Oh, you're so great, Nnakina. You're doing so good. You're doing so like that was great. You understand what I'm saying? But God used this situation to show me, like, you shall have no other God. Why do you care what people think about you? Why do you care whether you have to know who you are? And I don't know, maybe someone on here needs to hear that, because you, at the end of the day, you have to know who you are, because the enemy goal is to rob your voice. And that is really what he has done in this time more than ever, is he has tried to steal the voice of God's people and trying to shame them, whether it was by mistakes and stuff that they've done in their past, and made them think that he has forgotten them, tried to cause people to turn away, hide from their shame. Oh, you did this, now who are you to talk? That the whole point of that case, if you guys can't tell with discernment, is the whole point was so I would be so scared that, oh, people are gonna think I'm a thief. Guess what? You could think I'm a thief. Like that's the whole point. God had to take that away from me. He had to take away my desire to care, because I cared. You understand what I'm saying? But you only should care what God thinks. That's the whole point. You only should care what God thinks about you. Why do you care if people agree with you if you're indigenous? Why do you care? Why do you need them to care? If God says you are, then you are. You see what I'm saying? Okay, I see some people got their hands up. I think come on in. I see a hand is up. Hold on. Jay Sanders.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, tribe?
Hey, how are you? I just appreciate the call. I've just been sitting back and listening, and just my quick brief feedback. You know, as a business owner, I understand whatever's happened in the past, and most people that are in business understand accounting and chargebacks, and so I can understand what happened to previous funds. But in my personal experience, me and my family are grateful for you and your opportunity that you created. We haven't experienced any type of fraud or wrongdoings. So past is the past, and I'll just hold on to John chapter 10. You know, in this crusade, there's going to be different people on a different crusade, and God has the the thing to bring everybody under one fold. Everybody won't be under one fold, but for me and my house, we haven't been done wrong by you.
I appreciate
And we appreciate your leadership. We appreciate you coming out to Texas and all the stuff that your home team has done for us and the struggle that we have going on. And so just in our brief testimony and almost 2 years that we've been with you, we haven't seen any fraud or any misdealings. And I appreciate your leadership and your feedback. And
Thank you.
we rocking with you. So y'all be good.
I appreciate you. Hey, I appreciate those kind words, family. And I mean, to be honest, I know that God is using this moment for a reason. It's not something that I want to talk about because it's so annoying, because it's like, but in this season, guys, and I think it's really to show those of us who are here how the enemy is going to try to silence you in life in general. They want you to be quiet. They want you to stop talking. They want you to go away. You understand? But we are not going away. And I'm not just talking about ARNA, but I'm talking about what we are doing and what we are made to do. Like right now, this is not what this meeting was supposed to be about. And for those of you who are not aware, we will be rescheduling for Saturday the original meeting, because God showed me that we were not going to be able to get through the points that we need to discuss the upcoming events for the tribe. But I think he really wanted you guys to see this publicly, because it will help you in either understand what has happened to you in the past or what is about to come. And so that you do not be shaken, because the goal of the enemy, and you have to remember, God does not operate in confusion. That was the biggest thing that I've learned on this journey, is God is not a God of confusion. When you are in spaces and places where you simply cannot understand what is going on, that is a sign to get out. You understand? I sat in ARNA feeling convicted, but lying to myself, trying to believe because I was caring about this. Oh, this has to be it because this is this and this. But God showed me is I was making it an idol. You understand? That is why, because they want you to worship them. They want you to worship the people. They want you to worship. God said you cannot have his glory. That's why I said this is not me. Although I love serving my people, I love showing up. I want you guys to understand that it is God who makes it happen. I went through, they talking about where the money at. You guys don't even understand some of the previous meetings we had where I've faced eviction doing this. You see what I'm saying? This wasn't because it's so lucrative. Many people understand the struggle that we face with doing this work for our people. Many may not understand. And please, guys, don't get distracted with the comments right now, because let them talk, let them show themselves at this point, because at the end of the day, that's what the enemy wants you to be distracted. You understand what I'm saying? But go ahead. Let's see. Darnell, Mr. Jaguar, go ahead. And then we'll have.
Oh, hey. Yeah,
And
I was trying
Alberto,
to
you'll go
unmute.
after him, okay?
I was trying to mute. Unmute, sorry. I do appreciate, the us just bringing this to the forefront, because I know like a lot of people do have questions. I talk to a lot of people, and I believe, I've brought a good number of people in so far, and there are more that are still interested. However, I do think that like it would be really good if like there's some sort of, because they're bringing very high level accusations, and if there could be some way that you can just kind of show that you didn't do it, that would be great.
No, God said he's going to be the judge at this point, because they're going to fall because you guys have to understand. See, the enemy wants you to fear these courts, and they want you to think that, oh, if I go do this and do that. You got to remember that when you hurt God, what many people don't understand, like in that message when I said, we will see what the people have to say. After that, what you guys didn't see is he responded before he blocked me. He said, I'm going to grow you up quick, little girl. That's one of the things he said. Now, back then, I took it as an offense. But what one of my good friends told me recently about that response is that he recognized that I, like in God's eye, that I am a child. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to remember that when you are a child of God, God fights for you. I don't have, because for us to do anything with them at this point will be killing the progress. And that's what they want. They want us to get distracted. They want us to turn back around. They're in our past. Okay. I want you guys to understand, like, we're not having this conversation because they are relevant. God just wants to make sure that when judgment hit their house, that there will be evidence that he is a God that doesn't play about his people. And it will be marked that anyone that comes up against the Xi-Amaru Republic will never stand because we walk in righteousness. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, God will avenge us because that's what it's going to be. Now, Alberto, I know you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Hey, ma'am. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna be as quick as possible. One, I appreciate I appreciate you letting me speak. One, two, I am part of Xi-Amaru. I've only been for a couple months, not too long. So this is, you can imagine how jaunty this is to publicly see a damn near trial. I do want to say that I would strongly suggest, and I would be a part of this committee if possible, but I myself would have to be trained. Knowledge to the people is empowering the people. I'm gonna tell you how I felt here. I don't know how the jurisdictions work completely. I don't know how I can move within this jurisdiction, and how do I live in conjunction with the actual government, of the United States jurisdiction. Like, all that stuff should be, I feel like we should be really trained on. There should be classes on that. And again, I will first and foremost volunteer for that committee, but I think empowering the people and understanding, it'll be a lot more smoother and easier in the future to not only back us up in a way that we should, in the most respectful way possible, but also stand strong and firm, right? Knowing the terminology, understanding how things should work. We have a better understanding. I feel like I'm not an impartial juror, or I'm not the best juror right now, because I've read the thing while you guys were speaking. I've read it, and it's just allegations against you, nothing concrete that's been said. It's just, I can say anything about you. Oh, you wear glasses, so therefore you X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. But I also want to say, and actually, I'm gonna wait for another time to say when it's just members only, because I do have some feedback for you, and this is not the place for it.
Alberto, I want you to know that's what our next meeting on Saturday is going to be about, because it's not going to be public. It's going to be, and those of you, you will receive further communication of that, because you're going to have to RSVP. But we will have a separate, because that's really why we don't do these things publicly, because we know the enemy goal is to distract us. But what you just mentioned is actually our current goal. But we knew that before we get there, these are the things that have to be done, because one, it will show us how we need to equip ourselves for battle and be prepared, like you said, how to communicate. That's really why the Xi-Amaru exists. But I also know that the enemy is the accuser of the brethren, and by just a lie, it could turn someone around who may have thought like this is going to be the thing for them, but just because someone planted a seed, you turn away from the help. You see what I'm saying? And God knows that in this season, he's not playing about his people. You see? So, but we will have another tribal meeting, guys, because there is so much that we do need to organize. And that's really why also this is getting out of the way, because after this, they can do whatever they want, but I know God will avenge us. So, but we still need to be more prepared. And that's why I'm saying, like, we are about, you guys already know, we're supposed to talk about our grand opening. All of these things is what is all about, so that even when it comes to our jurisdiction, that we provide more support, more community, more access. But the enemy is trying to disrupt that, but we are here to kill it tonight. But I will see you guys. We're still taking, I see Bill. Mr. Bill, go ahead.
Yes, I'm probably one of your oldest members.
Yeah.
And I know of your past dealings with the other group. And in the past, there's been quite a few just like that. And it's always turned into a scam. And it's turned into a scam because the people realize that most of us know that something's coming.
Yeah.
We don't know quite what it is, when it is, but we want to be ready for it. And the thing that's coming is that we are getting ready to be legitified as the indigenous, the owners of this land. And money, for some odd reason, seems to override a pure heart and a true direction. The allegations that are brought against you, those were brought against you years ago. When you left, I saw those. And it reminded me of quite a few other so-called Native American awakening groups. They start falling apart.
Yeah.
You know, you have to look at what you're dealing with right now, and you have to keep your head looking straight. I would not have joined you if you were not interested in pulling together a group back into a tribe. And, you know, it's kind of difficult to do that because a lot of us are lost, you know. So I'll tell you this, keep working hard, keep records, know where your money is going. And if you just so happen to buy a Mercedes or a Rolls Royce, make sure the money is yours, not from the tribes, because that was another thing that killed a lot of tribes. When the money started coming in, everybody on top always wanted to show that we were prosperous, and we forgot about the people that helped us get there.
I appreciate
And
this morning.
right now, it doesn't sound like that's what you're trying to do. You're being pushed to do something, and I think what you're being pushed to do is to have a group of people ready to take that stand when that final word is going to come out and say, hey, wait a minute, you know what? These people did not come from Africa. These people were already here. You already have Mexico who did that. They told the truth. The truth is right around the corner.
Thank you so
And
much.
when it happens, we're going to have to be ready for it.
Exactly.
And I'm kind of like putting a lot on your shoulders because of your age, because you're younger. I talked that talk for a long time, but people in the past were not ready. Your generation is finally ready.
And I think that's why God has us in this position right now, is he wants us to not forget where we're coming from, because that's the thing too. It's so quick to believe it's you that you lose the love for the people. You lose the understanding that, first of all, it's God who has appointed you to steward anytime he gives any position to steward his sheep. Because at the end of the day, we have no control of anyone. You understand? So, but nevertheless, I think that what is being displayed here tonight, guys, is it is a great reminder that the enemy only has one agenda, and that is to kill, steal, and destroy. Whenever you find yourself, and this is the thing too, is it wants you to start to fear it. You see what I'm saying? The reason I'm even having this call, and it's not to make it, you know, it's funny to me because, again, like I said, everybody is spiritual till you mention God. Like, I'm sorry for those of you who may not like God. I love God. Okay, so if you are a part of the Xi-Amaru Republic, like, God is who currently directs us, because we have no other foundation. You understand what I'm saying? We're building. So thank God you have a chief that listens to God, because I've been under one that didn't. Okay, and it's not pretty. So that being said, I want to let it be known, Proverbs 1:24-26, because I called you and you refuse, I also will laugh at your disaster. Hear this clearly. God has officially removed the governmental influence of ARNA. The Aboriginal Republic of North America no longer holds weight in the spirit. Their authority is revoked. Their seats is vacant. Their time is up. And now God has chosen the Xi-Amaru Republic as a nation where his chosen people operate, build, and restore order in the land. This is the place where justice, righteousness, and divine order will be established. This is the remnant. This is the assignment. Proverbs 75:7, it is God who judges, he brings down, and he exalts another. And to those who repent, let it be known, repentance does not guarantee restoration of position or possession. God is sovereign. He chooses what to restore and what to let fall. But what is guaranteed is if you truly repent, again, this is for those of you in ARNA, is that your soul will finally find rest. Matthew 11:28, come to me, all of you who are weary, burdened, and I will give you rest. This is your final warning. Repent or watch the word of God unfold in judgment, delivered in truth. And that's my final word for you guys, because at the end of the day, God is our witness, guys. Like, that's the whole point, is people want you to fear them. Like, this is not the season to fear people. This is the season to fear God. And for those of you who maybe aren't a part of our jurisdiction, and although we may have looked a little messy, but something in you still feels called to join us on this mission, I promise you, this is normally not how our tribal meetings go. But if you want to learn more, reach out. Keep in mind, though, they have been a little delays just because we are growing and we are in transition of the official office. But I'm so excited to talk about that with those of you who are nationals and citizens of the Xi-Amaru Republic. I'm going to be excited seeing you guys on Saturday, because that's when we're actually going to be talking about real good stuff. But I'm going to leave the floor for one more person. Let's go. Who? You're going to have to mute yourself. Who wants to go and leave a final? Go ahead. What you want to say? Joshua, go ahead, Joshua.
Okay. My brother, Alberto, earlier you were talking about the law. So the effort that we've been taking now is on every call with anybody who's even thinking about joining the nation. I tell them, hey, before you even get screening results back, like, just go ahead and start looking at ADRIP, UNDRIP, ILO, International Labor Organization. Those all list our rights as Indigenous people and the Xi-Amaru Republic Constitution. So that's something that we have built into our process. If you didn't get that same service at the time, sincerely apologize. I don't know why that didn't happen, but we are making that an effort in every single call that we have now to point people towards that. Now, I can tell you this, just based on dealing with people, even in the US jurisdiction, people live in this country for years, live and die here, and don't read their rights. So it is up to our people also to want to do that. But I'm not saying you specifically, I'm just speaking broadly. But we have taken an effort to every single call, just make sure that everybody is going to those documents and looking for themselves. We have the history of UNDRIP and ADRIP on the first page without having to even navigate to another page. So very important that, we understand the history of that in some, but also like open up Google, pull up 2 tabs, look up UNDRIP, ADRIP, and understand the legal framework there. Because outside of us just telling it to you or anywhere else you may get the information, it's going to be more impactful when each individual does it for themselves.
I appreciate you bringing that up, Joshua, but I also want to add to that conversation is I don't think you guys understand what has happened throughout history when it comes to people living, is even when it comes to those of us who are, and this is only me speaking now from my Christian faith, is you have to understand that life becomes like the enemy creates so much weight of rules and regulations. And this is the whole reason why God was angry and why he sent salvation to us, is because they try to put everything to make life horrible. So they created all of these laws to turn people away from God's ordained law. So as long as you know you're out here walking in good standing, you're not out here trying to commit harm, you're not out here trying to create injury to other people, even yourself, you are in right standing. Stop complicating your life. Now, the reason I'm saying that is, yes, the only thing that we currently need to do is make sure that we have proper communication with how our people speak to the other jurisdiction. But at the end of the day, We don't have real problems with the other jurisdiction. That's another lie that the enemy wants you to have, is that you need to fear such and such because they're bigger, or this happened. And like, our people don't come in, oh my God, this happened to me. To be honest, unfortunately, the injury a lot of times happen when people don't come before. When you don't come before, things happen. Then it's unfortunate that we don't have all the tools to fight, and then things just sometimes are out of our control. But at the end of the day, when we stand on our truth, when we stand in who we are, we get results. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not here telling you that because I want you to buy, I want you to think. I'm telling you that because this is a place that God is currently establishing for his people. And if you feel chosen, then that's what we're here for. But if you are a person who wants to operate in fear, where you are so easily confused and you continue to let the enemy play in your mind, we may not be a good fit for you right now. You may want to join us another time, because this is building season. Go ahead, Joshua.
I just wanted to say too, and Chief, don't elbow me for this, but like, I want you guys to know I had a journey where because of what my church did to me, what I felt like, and because of what others did to me, and I had to take accountability for some of those things, you know, I completely walked away from God because of, again, what the medium of church and others did, and even the things that I did, my own stuff. And even to this day, Chief, this is why I say don't elbow me, because I don't identify as a Christian, but that's more of a testament to say that even though you go on the website, Xi-Amaru is a Christian nation, Chief is a Christian, you can have a relationship with God and it doesn't fit in a box. God doesn't fit in a box. So it's like to criticize her or this nation because, oh, it's a Christian nation, where you spend those dollar bills that say, in God we trust. And did you ask them what their religion was or their order and the darkness and everything that goes with that? No, you just spend it. So it's like, why are we doing that just because it's us? And we're so critical of, oh, Christianness and Christian that. It's like, yo, and sometimes you need a system though, so that at least you can have some structure, develop a relationship with God, and realize, okay, there does come a threshold where you say God doesn't fit in the limit, but you still have to know God. You still have to have some principles to refer to. So if you're saying, oh, Christian is, why you guys Christian that, and you're getting stuck on that, congratulations, you are now idolizing that even. You know, and so it's like we get so stuck, but you have to discern. So whatever your spiritual system is, whatever, can you not discern good from evil? Period. You do business and put your bank with people that are, you know, they say they're Jewish, right? You spend money with people that are Muslim, right? So it's like, why, when you come here though, is that an issue? Where is the discernment? You know, so that's what I would say to that. I really want you guys to use your discernment. And I don't say that to be cautious. I say that to say from someone who doesn't just say I'm a Christian, I identify as that. I can still use my discernment to say God is at work here though, still.
So I'm not just like, oh, you got to be a Christian, because that's another lie that the enemy tries to use to get you guys to think. But I am telling you, like, I'm not doing this on my own accord. I really want you guys to understand is so. I would say, even if that's not the case, this is the season to judge with righteous judgment. And to be honest, for those of you, because I'm going to close with this, is the reason the enemy has put so many woke teachers in the present before, because they knew we were coming. So that's why you saw all the injuries, the scammers, all of this happening. And it was like, oh my goodness, it's like we finally have hope. And it's because the enemy wanted to make sure that you become so scared that you finally don't connect with truth and present itself.
I was there with you, and he was like trying to.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, John,
Hey.
did you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you for the time though. I have a question. I was just wondering, like, how much is the administration fee to join, and like how soon the documents to be returned if I was to join?
Great question. So the first step, I don't know if you've completed the first step, but it is a tribal screening, because we always make sure, and keep in mind when we talk about tribal screening, every tribe, every system, the federal system, the other system, every group determines what that looks like. For us who are part of the Xi-Amaru Republic, what it looks like for us is we are looking into we're looking into your history when it comes to the names that are connected to you, the locations that are connected to you, because again, those are just solely and just sanguineous. So when we talk about indigenous people, specifically for our tribe, it means that you experience what we call denationalization. And unlike the other system, we're not looking at just those who are just born here, because the reality is wherever you ended up, that's where God wanted you. But at the end of the day, we're looking at, does this vision align with you? And did you experience injury when it came to your people? Meaning that you lost your identity, you lost your everything basically when it comes to your history. And what we're looking at is the names, the locations, and that is what is determined. Now, unlike how they were talking about that I have no status because I was married into ARNA, that is not something that our government does. We do respect families. So we, even if someone is married into the nation, it doesn't mean if you divorce your spouse that you should fear losing your protection. That's not how we operate over here. We still respect family. And at the end of the day, even if you are not directly connected to, and that's another thing too, I want you guys to understand, because there will be no discrimination in this nation because we are made up of people who are blended families. So that is why we cannot get on here and bash each other, because at the end of the day, we are here for families. You hear what I'm saying? So that means that you may have a Xi-Amaru brother or sister who is married to another person. You understand? And that person has right by law to be in this nation and have the same protection just like everyone else, because you cannot want for yourself, you cannot want for others, but like, how can you dare say you want, like, if people are coming together and they're saying that they want to advance the support together of our development of our nation, and they agree with what we're doing, we respect that as a nation. Now, if some people don't agree with that, then I understand the other system may be a better fit for you. But to finish off, that screening process takes about 5 to 10 business days. Now, we have been receiving a little higher volume, and because we are currently about to open the official location, we also have training coming up because we do need to hire more people. So processing has slowed down a little bit, but we are still trying to work within those time frames. But bear with us, guys. Like you guys have no clue. Like even this right now took so much time from what we have been trying to do, but I know God will make it work all for our good. But the typical process, once that is complete, the first step is $75. Now, keep in mind, if anyone is experiencing hardship, we do have a special request department. We do work with families. We do work to make this process as easy as possible, because at the end of the day, keep in mind that we are an autonomous government. What does that mean? That means that we are only supported by people who are a part of our nation, those who are interested in joining, and those of you who are considering joining. So when we talk about resources, I want you guys to understand it's not other systems that are backing us. We're not doing this because we received $1 from somewhere else. It is people like you who have paid to put us here. And that is why we continue to do this work. And that is why we will continue to do this work. And yes, we will have access to other things, but at the end of the day, this costs because people like you pay. But at the end of the day, the process is the citizenship process is $8,850, if I'm not mistaken, the standard process. But if you need your documents sooner, then you can go ahead and do that. But right now, we don't currently have any. And that normally takes how long, Joshua?
160, 180 days total, but it doesn't always take that long. We just do that so that we don't give anyone false expectations and not meet them.
Yeah, we want to make sure that because we want to make sure that we set up the realistic expectation, because the reality is processing is also determined by the awareness. Right now, many people, just like yourselves, are coming into an understanding. So sometimes that comes in a bash. Keep in mind, for a good minute, we've only been operating with part-time employment. But right now, we're trying to bring on a more stable team to help support the load. But Mr. John, go ahead and finish, and then Joshua, you can take the floor.
I'm sorry about that. My phone was like, my static was going in and out. Oh, you said $800 is the fee?
Is the typical fee, but we also provide support and flexibility for families. So even let's say, you know, someone, because we understand the times that we're in, so you can reach out to what is known as our special request department by going to Aboriginal Ministry of Justice. Anyone, by the way, can reach out, and all you have to do is really just submit a special request order. It's right in the link in the menu bar. And our team will review your case, and then they will either, like I said, we work with your budget. So explain as much as you can in that process so that they can review it and make the best decision to help you and your family on that process.
Okay.
Awesome, John.
Thank you
Go ahead,
so much.
Josh.
Thank you.
Go
I
ahead,
have a
Josh.
question.
Oh, go ahead, Shauna. Is that
It's Shayna. It's Shayna.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, so the 800 or something, is that just for the family, or is that just for one person?
That's one person per adult. It's different for children, but it's per adult. And that comes with your IDs currently, but that may even be something that changes, to be honest, in the near future, just to help with production. So those of you who are interested, this may be the time, because one of the things that we are seeing is people get confused when they have to order IDs. Keep in mind, the only time right now that you have to request an ID is if it has expired or if it was lost. Okay, but the process itself currently comes with 2 IDs that you need, which is your member ID, and also we issue your tax exempt ID, which you can use whether you are employed or self-employed. And then you can also have a business that can be registered in our jurisdiction, where you will be able to reap the benefit of pretty much paying. Now, keep in mind, though, I really want to touch on this, is when we talk about tax exemptions, guys, we're not talking about tax exemptions from a place of taxes. We hate taxes and they're bad. Our exemptions in the Xi-Amaru Republic is for one reason and one reason only. It's because we communicate with the other jurisdiction that we are Indigenous people who went through these experiences by again, this is a right, because we have the right to study what we need to do as a people for the advancement of our people. Let me pull up Adrian real quick, because I really want you guys to understand, because a lot of time the Bible, well, again, I'm gonna use the Bible, guys, but it says my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So I don't want y'all to be confused no more. Let me pull up Adrian real quick. Because you guys have to understand, like, the enemy goal is for you to be scared. Like, you have to understand the other system is a system. All of these are just systems that people have used to communicate and pretty much operate life. And what we are doing is just creating a system for ourselves. It's not a get back. It's not no rebellion. It's not us, oh, we're so angry. No, it's just how people move in the world. And other jurisdictions understand that. It's literally what they've done. You have to understand, like, we're not painting new rules. Like, people have done this all their lives. We were just catching up on, oh, this is what you guys been doing. And now applying it to us and getting it done for us. But let me pull this up real quick. And guys, just confirm that you can see that real quick. Let me zoom in a little bit. So this, guys, is called the American, and thank you. You know who also brought this up? I think my brother's in here. Where is Jason? Jason was the one. Jason was like, hey, did you ever?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, you are the reason. Like, that's why I'm like, God works all things together for good, because we've crossed many times, but since you joined the nation, we literally have studied it more. And when I tell you, it was really one of those tools that really has advanced what we're doing more. Because explain to the people, Jason, if you don't mind, what this document is real quick.
Well, briefly, again, and thank you for your time. The American Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People is really the bedrock of what we're able to stand on. You know, it's your inheritance. You don't have to beg from other people what your rights are. You don't have to, you know, be stuck in their system. And by taken in, well, let me answer your question directly. This is just outlaws our articles and the rights of why we're able to do what we do. But, you know, it's your God-given right. But this is just expressing how you're able to use your God-given right. So first of all, take note, yes, sir, it's your God-given right. So no one can give you or take away a right that God has given you. But this is simply merely giving you some documentation that shows you how you can express your rights and why you can do what you can do with your God-given rights.
Got it. Thank you, Jason. Now, keep in mind, guys, this basically, so similar, you know, you hear people talk about the UN a lot, but what they don't understand is that also this document here was drafted officially by different countries, meaning different nations in the Americas, including the United States and many others, meaning Honduras, Costa Rica, Guatemala, all of those other countries came together and they were like, hey, we understand that indigenous people have been harmed in these lands. Now, keep in mind, the reason this is possible is, although I'm a person, yes, I am indeed, I was born in Honduras, okay? However, if you guys don't know, Honduras is a Latin country. Am I Latin? You understand what I'm saying? Like, by some people, they may say yes, but no, I am a indigenous woman. So that system, and many like us, we've been a part of systems that do not represent us. So this is why they came together and say, you know what? Now, although we are not going to build it for them, these people should have some support in how they rebuild for themselves. Now, the problem is many people never understood who does it apply to. Now, if it never applied, and this is all I'm going to say here, if this doesn't apply to us, right? Why would people who are so-called other natives need this document? Like, why would countries come together? Go ahead, Josh. She's like, let me go. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and guys, this is after viewing this document. I've read it cover to cover, and I don't say that for pride. Like, I'm the type of person I need to go back and revisit all the time. But the very fact that it exists is it already hushes the entire. That's why you don't see us online going back and forth with people who are calling themselves Native Americans. I'm not going to call them any names, even though they call us hella names, but because this document would have never needed to be created. If they were who they say they were, and they like to say, oh, you guys aren't federally recognized, you don't even know your indigenous language, which the latter is not true. But why do we need to fight for federal recognition or federal dependency, which is what it really is? They make up 2%, no more than 2%.
Let me pause, Josh, just to not to interrupt, but let me go in on this because that has been another distraction that many people get on. But you have to pay attention, is that they're telling you that they're going to take you to another system. Again, they have no system. See, the only reason we're having a conversation with ARNA is because they have a system. You understand what I'm saying? So we understand that that could be dangerous when it comes to you creating lies and documenting it by falsehood. You understand? But you're not going to see us do that very same thing with a group when we understand that they have no power. If the other jurisdiction has a problem with us, guys, it's okay. People can't. And that's another thing too, is the enemy has made you so scared that you don't do anything to protect yourself and advance yourself because it convinces you that you're safe and you're not. Many times, I'm telling you guys, what happens is you wait till something happens and then you seek the help. I'm telling you that many things can be avoided by being a part of an indigenous jurisdiction. Sometimes even ARNA, guys, I'm gonna just let you know, it's like being a part of an indigenous jurisdiction. You have to understand is you're a part of a different system. Meaning that, now keep in mind, this does not mean that you don't have access to the other system. You do have access still. This isn't about you now becoming an island, because the reality is we need support. The reality is we're not where we need to be as a people. So therefore, some of our people, they're still, they have benefits. They have different things going on. So this system doesn't tell you, oh, go figure everything out and just be indigenous. No, we operate in a functional way because as a government, for those of you who are considering coming into this system, we have to think about your best interest. That is what governments are supposed to do. We're just one that's currently made for you. You understand? Now, keep in mind the issue that we have seen as a people is because we haven't been in our own systems. What has happened? So we've been thinking, and this is why I think a lot of the misinformation has become so widespread, is because they still want you to be confused. Many people think, oh, okay, well, I need to go to the other jurisdiction and do this and do that. And that is not the answer. That's like, and I always say this, but it's like someone from China coming over and they run into us and they're like, hey, Xi-Amaru tribe, Xi-Amaru Republic, like, you know what? I'm Chinese, but yeah, I understand you guys are, you're a government for indigenous people in the Americas, but how about you give me some some Chinese IDs and give me documentation, because I want to show the world that I am Chinese. Our system doesn't function that way. The same thing for the other system. It's not designed for indigenous people. So when you think you're correcting your status as an indigenous person, you can only correct your status through another system. So what many people don't, and this is why I think God has chosen me, is because I've been in multiple systems. Meaning I haven't just dealt with Honduras. I haven't just dealt with the United States. I haven't just dealt with ARNA, but I've seen it and I understand it. And that is why he gave you guys Xi-Amaru Republic. That's why he gave you me as a chief in this current time. Is because I've seen, I understand the levels of government now on how these systems operate. And it's not aliens that run systems. You're just dealing with people on a regular basis, and you have to now, if you want your system to protect you, now you have to become responsible, because the reality is there is a lot of work that we have to do. We're talking to systems that have been in operation for years. You understand what I'm saying? So the reality is there's still a lot of work. So if work scares you and you don't really want to do the work, and I think I told this to just a tribal member the other day, like, unfortunately, you know, everything that we want is not here, but the goal is to pretty much make sure that what our people need, and I mean the children that are coming behind us, the generations that are coming behind us, that they do not have to sit here having these same conversations. That's what we're here for. We're here to make sure that our children live in a world that seems completely delusional to them. They're like, that's what you guys were going through? That's the vision for the Xi-Amaru Republic, is we have delusional babies because they operate in so much peace. They live in consistent blessings that they don't know what struggle is. They don't know what being misclassified is. They don't know, they won't even be able to read some of the things that we're going through and relate to it, because it's going to be so foreign to them. That is what we're here for. All of this other conversation and this and that, this is just, like I said, it's just to get it out the way. But at the end of the day, this is to build a system that we will be able to stand on, not just today, but long term. And the only thing, but this is the thing, the only thing that will protect this, and I'm telling you guys, because the reason, and God showed me, the reason power has not been given to our people is because we want the gift without the creator. You cannot have the gift without honoring your creator. Now, again, I'm not saying you have to become religious, but this is not the time not to have a fear for God. Because at the end of the day, he is the one that's going to protect this nation. You understand? Like, he is the one that's going to lift us up, and we don't have to fight. That's another thing too. Like, the enemy keeps trying to get you to fight, get you to bicker. Like, you guys don't even understand. There's so much happening behind the scenes that we are building for you guys that you can't get distracted. And that's really why I think God did this meeting today, is because he doesn't want you guys to get distracted, because believe it or not, you're already in the promise. But it will be you who will decide if you become oppressed again, or if you will accept who has given you the promised land. That's the only how. Let me say it right here, right now. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be this. It's going to be you that will enslave you again. If you do not heed to what I'm saying, you're going to enslave yourself again. Because God is not playing with none of us. He's like, I've done this too many times with y'all. Now, that being said, I'm going to just close off with this. So this declaration, it says self-identification as Indigenous people will be a fundamental criteria for determining to whom this declaration applies. So again, it didn't say that you need to be federally recognized, did it? Can anyone confirm, does the document say you need to be federally recognized to be Indigenous people? Did you see anything in there that said federally recognized? Please say yes or no.
No.
Okay. So it says self-identification as Indigenous people will be a fundamental criterion for determining to whom this declaration. So basically, it's telling you that you will have to know who it applies to. I'm not going to say it for you, because again, you have to remember what self-determination is. Self-determination means how you move in this world by who you say you are and how you do business in the world, meaning how your paperwork looks, tell the world how to deal with you as an individual. It says, states shall respect the right to such self-identification as Indigenous, whether individual or collectively, in keeping with the practices and institution of each Indigenous people. You see what I'm saying? So again, you have to understand, we have more power, and I'm not gonna lie, I used to wonder, why is it that we're not, like, I thought the way was recognition, and this is why God said, lean not on your own understanding. He's like, you say you want to be free, you say you want to be, you understand what I'm saying? He's like, I'm giving you everything you guys say you want, but now you're gonna show if you really want it or not. And guess what comes with freedom? Building. You understand? And I just use see, this is the thing. I believe in learning from everybody. And I'm not here to applaud what and how things were done in the past. But when those people decide that they were tired of their oppression, and they said, no matter what we leave in this side of the world, they travel rough oceans. They, like, you see, you guys have to want it. That's really what this is coming down to, is like, if you don't really want freedom, then we are not for you. Because what the enemy keeps getting you to believe is freedom means that you have just riches. No, it means that you have power. Our people have had money. Our people have had everything. They've experienced the mansions. They've experienced, like, people have had, like, stop acting like we've forever been oppressed. We haven't been forever oppressed, but what we've never truly had is self-governance, real power to make informed decisions for ourselves as a collective, doing it. And this is something, when did this happen? You guys understand? Like, and I want this to be a testament of how great God is, because this is an example of how people can come together and change the world. What does this say? This is adopted at the third plenary session held on June, anniversary coming up, baby. It says June 17th, I'm thinking about my baby, June 15th, 2016. Do you guys see how history can be made? You see what I'm saying? Like, the enemy wants you to think that history is just made yesterday. No, baby, history is made every day. Every day, every day, every day. Every day you can change the world. Every day you can make an impact, but you have to choose to. If I would have stopped back then, we wouldn't be here. And when I tell you, so much has been done since then, but because I didn't listen to the noise and I finally listened, like, no, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than our people. This is God's people. Go ahead, Joshua. And then we're gonna close. Well, yeah, we're gonna answer the last people, because I see Rashad can go.
I'm gonna keep it brief because I want to be respectful for the other people who want to come up. But I just want everyone to know today, like, in my personal experience, and this is one of the things I respect most about leadership here and Chief Nnakina, I've never once been told in my role, and when I do, some of you may know me from the calls and doing customer service stuff, you already know and recognize my voice, but I've never been told, oh, sell them on it. That's never been a conversation that's happened, or even nothing alluding to that. What I have been told is we need people who are first, right? You got to pass that screening, but people who are aligned with building, not just people who are going to sit on the sidelines and criticize and criticize. Everyone's money is not good here.
Like,
direct quote. Direct quote. Everyone's money is not good here. Now go talk to a scammer and ask them if they discriminate for money. No, they'll take whatever money. They'll take whatever money you got. They'll take the money at your piggy bank. I've never been told sell them. I've been told make sure they're aligned with God and what we are doing here. Not even Christianity. That's not the conversation. God. You can't fit God in a box. God was here in the beginning was the word. So before Christianity, before any of that other stuff came, there was God. So if y'all can't discern good from evil,
we're not
you might
it.
want to apply some more. You might want to apply somewhere else.
Go ahead, Rashida.
Hi, Nnakina. So my question is this. I'll try to make it quick because I understand that we're supposed to be closing. So I'm not an official member yet, but I did receive my certificate not long ago. It's only been a few weeks. So tribal enrollment is a priority. I just can't do it right now, but it is on my list to start by the end of July. Okay. So, but my question is, once I do become an official member, I was wanting to see how I could volunteer, some time to help build our nation.
We love that. That's really like, I love that you said, where are you? If you don't mind me asking, what state?
The Houston area.
Girl, you gotta come. Oh my Lord, Joshua! Listen, but listen, guys, this is the thing. Is like, it's gonna happen fast. I'm telling you guys, like, you're gonna see Xi-Amaru shops popping up everywhere. Like, we're gonna have so many, what we're gonna call them, embassies of everywhere, and that's what I know, because it's needed right now. It's coming up, guys. But I appreciate you, sister. Congratulations, by the way. We're happy to have you. It's always a pleasure to have another tribal member, because if you're here, it means you align. So that's what we're about. But keep in mind, like I said, is reach out to our team. Let me go real quick just so that you guys are aware on how, because many people, go through the process and they let's just be honest, it is a feat. Like, I've been there, and that's why we decided to put this process in place, is so that you guys have opportunities. And we understand at the end of the day, when the time comes, because I want you guys to understand that the process is not just about you applying, is we understand that our people are in a space right now where we need to, and this is what I always say, before we can build a community, we have to build the people. You see what I'm saying? So this system right now is all about focusing on how do we get each and every one of our tribal member. And this is why the paperwork is so important. That step is because we understand the power of your energy, because we understand the power of your everyday, meaning those of us who are real workers, those of us who are consistently looking to provide for our families. And the goal is to take that current energy and make sure that you have the best return possible on that. You understand? So, and just to clarify what I was talking about, when we talk about exemption, this is not because you don't want to pay taxes. You have to understand, because we are a people who have to redevelop, we have the right to determine what does that look like for our people. So that means that because we understand that we are working from a disadvantaged place, unfortunately, we understand we can't give every dollar away. So although we may be in another jurisdiction, meaning that, hey, I'm here, let me serve, because again, that's what it is about. So even when people try to say separate, no, if another company is even providing opportunities for our indigenous brothers and sisters, that is great. We're happy for that, because that's another family that's getting supported. Now, but when it comes to employing that individual, we want you to understand that this particular person is an indigenous person who have experienced denationalization. Therefore, we have to pour back into ourselves and our community. So when we talk about tax exemptions, it's not that you don't want to pay taxes on your job, it's that now you're getting the system to understand that, okay, you are someone who's a part of a group who is currently participating in self-development. So because of that, because you have to understand, right now, many people are just in a default. That's the danger. Many people are in a default setting. And because you're in a default, that means what applies to you, I'm going to have to meet you just a little bit, sis. But that means that what applies to you is what is there. You see what I'm saying? So until you decide, okay, there must be more, because all systems are, how is it that I can be born in another country and get another status? You see what I'm saying? Because we've confused status so much, we don't understand what's going on. When you are a part of a government, whether you're knowingly doing it or unconsciously doing it, you are basically putting yourself under an authority. And a lot of times you just go in the one that you're in, that's just there by default. We didn't choose. And that's really what it comes down to. This is a choice. Is you could be indigenous, just like how you just mentioned. I did my stuff, but let's say you watched this whole thing and you were like, you know what? This ain't for me. Then you could go the other way and just continue. That's the whole point, is we don't, because being indigenous, again, people have confused what it actually means. Because yes, you have rights. And this is what I always tell people, you have to see governments like a bulletproof vest, because just like how your ribcage can protect your internal organs, which let's say are your rights, meaning that if you go out there and you get injured, let's say, you know, unfortunately, like a pew pew, right? Something just went off and it hit you. Now, guess what? It is possible that your rib cage could protect you from that. But because we know, because this is a part that scares a lot of people, they're like, but it's man-made. Yeah, a bulletproof vest is man-made as well. But I bet you if you live in a dangerous area, you may want to consider getting one. So that's the issue, is for a long time, we haven't had systems in place to be our bulletproof vest. Everybody else was suited up. You see what I'm saying? Everybody else has gotten suited up. And we're over here, just out here with our rib cage and hoping for the best. Like, we don't have to live in that anymore. Now, does it take work? Yes, because the system can only give you what it has. And right now we are in a growing state. We are in a coming into the knowledge state. So therefore, there still is a lot of work. But guess what? We at the Xi-Amaru Republic, we do the work. So when people say, where's my money going? That's the whole point, is we want to provide more employment, more opportunities, and people who want to serve. Like, we want, you know, like, you guys don't even understand how much we understand how some of you, even when it comes to how you want to volunteer, and that will come as well, because it is needed. But I also, you have to understand, because I am a mother, I am a wife, I understand what it takes to run life. And I can't just see my people sacrifice. Now, I've done it. I went through a lot, okay? And I'm not saying that because I want to sound special, but I understand the cost of this. And my goal is to make sure, however, is that our people are well compensated when they do step into this nation. You understand? And not only in this nation, but also you guys who have businesses, like, your community needs you. Like, we don't tell you guys to create businesses because we want you to sign up and get another fee. We're saying get in position. This is the time to get in position. Your people are ready for you. All the skills, all the tools that God has given you, stop sitting on it. Like, please, because your people are tired. Joshua, explain to them how our life works right now, just working in an indigenous community.
You know,
what have you taken from working in your indigenous jurisdiction versus the past?
The conversations that I have day to day with each of you are amazing, and within the other jurisdiction might be considered unprofessional, even like when we start talking about God, or hey, how's your family doing, like what's going on. But for us, that's the whole thing. It's like, when did professionalism become indistinguishable from what we know in society as whiteness? When did that become the definition of professionalism, when it really has more to do with how well we do what we're doing? What I've also noticed is when she says something, and I don't get this in the other jurisdiction with politicians, they don't know how to create jobs, first of all. A lot of them aren't entrepreneurs, nor do they have that background. In this jurisdiction, I was told that the skills that I had would be valued and that there would be a position for me. She created a position for me that the nation needed and that I had needed at the time. So like right away, I can just stand on, hey, we're people who say we're gonna do something, it gets done. And the things that we can't do or don't have the infrastructure yet, it's never been, oh yeah. Because there's people out there selling license plate. There's a reason why we don't have that yet. It's because we want to make sure we have the capacity and that our people are not running into unnecessary traffic stops or anything else that we don't have the full capacity to deal with now. But we have hired more people as well, right, Chief? I think we just talking going on.
I hope some of y'all are in here. We're looking for training. Guys, I apologize for those of you. And keep in mind, more positions will be opening up. It's just based right now on the capacity that we do have. For those of you who didn't hear back from us, we're sorry. We have been running a little behind, but for those of you who have accepted, congratulations. We're looking forward to having you guys on the team this month. More communication in regards to that will be going out between, I ain't gonna say today because definitely not today, but between now and next week, so that you guys are able to get we're happy to have you, and we're looking forward to growing with you. And I'm sure your community is grateful for you guys who did sign up and are looking to contribute your skills. And again, guys, if you haven't heard back, please keep in mind, it's not that we don't want to, but we also understand that some of y'all have other skills and opportunities that will be opening up that we will be considering you guys for. But at this time, we do need to serve based on where we're currently at. So please don't take it personal. Please understand we love you all, and we are working our butts off to make this a beautiful system for all of us. But that being said, oh my goodness, we have run out of time. But thank God for a good husband, because my husband has been holding it down. But that being said, guys, guess what? There is, oh, let me just finish out what I wanted to show. So for those of you who are considering becoming a part of our government, so there is right here, it says submit a special request. So this is a form that comes directly to our team. And what they do is they work to make sure, like, again, you know, you just come in, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we will be able to follow up with you. We have been receiving some. We have fallen behind on certain time frames. That's why we got some support coming. My sister just said she on the team, and girl, thank you, because we need some help. But that being said, you just go to here and you fill out a special request, and that will be how we will be able to work with you. We try to work with everyone's budget. It doesn't guarantee that we will be able to accommodate everything, but keep in mind, guys, it's not about the price. If you are going through something and you just need some flexibility, sometimes what happens in a situation like this is we will either, depending, let's say you are a mother or a father who maybe have, you know, you have full responsibility to the kids. That may be not that easy. So then guess what? Our team is going to consider those things, and then they may even reduce the fee. So it all just depends on, and this is why I always tell people, be as detailed as possible. I know sometimes in this world, we're taught to be like super protective and private, and you don't let people know what's going on, but that's not what we're about, because the reality is we only can help you when we know what's going on. So in a situation like this, provide as much detail, you know, that doesn't cause injury to yourself. And keep in mind, when it comes to information that is shared with us, this information will never be put out public. I understand that a lot of what just happened previously was messy. And to be honest, that was one of the things that God showed me that I needed to protect his people from. And that is why I think God placed me here, is because I understand the importance of confidentiality. And that is something that we take very serious, because let's be honest, we all go through things. We all have situations that we don't want to share with the world. And we honor that and we respect that. So never think that anything you share, like there's people who have left and we'll never talk about them. Like there's people who, like, a lot happens that we don't talk about. You see what I'm saying? So never think that because of what you saw earlier, like judge with righteous judgment. Okay. Now, but just go here whenever you get the chance, aboriginalministryofjustice.org. In the menu bar, find where you can submit a special request, and that whatever service you are considering, you can apply for that. Okay. Now, like I said, what happens in a process like this is once the case has been received, our team is going to review the case. In some cases, they may need some additional information, but in most cases, if you provide enough detail, they will be able to provide you with a more structure on what that could look like. Now, keep in mind, however, the difference between when you do this is you will have to wait till you make your final payment for the process to actually start. So that's very important. Now, that being said, I'm going to take your question one more time, but oh my gosh, we got to go. Go ahead. Rashida, you did say you are a national, right? You're in the nation?
I'm not an official tribal member. I just have the certificate.
You are Xi-Amaru. You in. Okay, so that means that
Okay, I'll take that.
You're going to be pulling up on Saturday, because Saturday we do have a meeting where it's only going to be tribal members, meaning nationals and citizens. So whether you just did the screening, you got your positive, that's where we're going to actually have our conversations, because this one was just open to the public. So just be on the lookout for more communication in regards to that, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there, girl.
Okay, this Saturday?
Yes,
This
this
coming
Saturday, communication. They're going to send out, I think it's scheduled for tomorrow. So just be on the lookout. Check your inbox. Guys, make sure you're checking your spam folder as well so that you're not missing any important details, okay? Now, Mr. Black, go ahead. This is going to be the last one and we got to close. Mr. Black, you got your hand that you're on mute.
I think Tony was next. Mr. Anthony
Okay,
Summon.
go ahead, Joshua. I missed that.
You still here, Tony and Mr.
Yeah,
Anthony?
I first like to say to the chief, as far as I wanted to say to you, you've really done things decently and in order. So I'm very appreciative of you speaking of the Most High. So before I even go into that, I wanted to say all praises to the Most High.
Yes.
Acknowledgement to the earthly mother who is wisdom, who's the Holy Spirit, and acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai, which is the Son of the Most High. All praises be to the Most High. After listening to this, and I went through the whole thing, I was very confused, but your professionalism and your leadership, it really showed as you navigated through a lot of anger.
You saw.
Yeah.
I appreciate
it. I would say, for all have sinned and fell short of the glory of the Most High.
Yeah.
As they say, the truth shall make you free. So all you have to do is continue to be who you are. And I have a lot of confidence. I'm not a full member yet. I have paid, and now I'm waiting for my ID to come in. I'm from Maryland.
Hey.
I'm a business owner, so I understand what it takes to run a business, and of course, this is a lot of responsibility. So, by all means, we really have to be patient and let the process just happen. So through all of this, your spirit shined, and we can only please the Most High spirit and truth. So your spirit really, you've remained calm through all the accusations and so forth. So I just pray to the Most High show you favor and discernment in your leadership role, and may you lead in righteousness. So my one question that I have for you is, because they mentioned something about the name, is there any chance that the name would be changed because it's you are in or they're saying that we are in some sort of
I think that's a great question. And to be honest, I wanted to change it so bad. This is why, like, I'm telling you guys, it's God only. Because when I first left, it was like, please get this name off of me. Like, I didn't want anything to do with it. I'm just being honest. But one of the things that God showed me is this is the name of his people at the end of the day. And some people are trying to make it seem like it is because even the name, so you guys have to understand the very name that they're talking about, they always reference it back to Mexico. Now, keep in mind, Mexico currently is a part of, is it a part of North? It doesn't matter where a part. It's not. So they always, and this is what happens when you are in chaos, is chaos will always contradict itself, right? Because it operates in confusion. Because one minute, okay, our system is only for those of us who are here, so anyone else is an outsider. But then I'm saying that the Mayan calendars and all of these things that are in other locations are mine as well. So you have to pick and choose. So to answer your question, the Xi-Amaru lineage belongs to melanated people. Okay, that is what the foundation of it comes from, because it is an original name that has been established for us. So just like what I mean by that is, again, you have to know who you are. And if God says you are, that's who you are. So although, so, and that's what's so funny to me is before me, no one really were talking about the Xi-Amaru. Although I didn't come into it and coined it, they really picked it up after me because they always were ARNA this and ARNA that. And now it's like, you're taking our names. Now, did they call themselves Xi-Amaru? Yes. But at the end of the day, they weren't using it because I think God knew that it was going to come a time where he was going to make this switch. And I really want you guys to understand, like, this is nothing new. This always happens. See, the enemy wants you to think that we all have to get along. Like, no, Saul hated David. You understand what I'm saying? Like, David was out there winning battles, and Saul was getting more angry and angry, for those of us who know a little bit of what I'm talking about. So this is nothing new that's happening. When God takes his glory, and I really want you guys to understand, and I'm not trying to sound special, I'm not trying to sound important at all, but I want you to understand when God leaves people, is the spirit of anger, the spirit of confusion dwells with them. And when they see righteousness, when they see truth, they hate it. And like earlier, the person was like, you must have done, according to her from the, I don't know if she's still here, she's like, something must have been done to these people because they're so angry, they're so upset, like you must. And that's what the enemy wants people to think, especially when those of us who are chosen to be, truth tellers and righteous, is to believe that because the noise is so loud, it means it's true. That's not true. And that's the thing. They want you to get into the confused state with them, because guess what? When two fools are, like, let's say maybe a wise person and a fool is arguing, you can't tell who is who. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what they want. They want the Xi-Amaru Republic to be in beef with them so that it confuses people. Because again, you have to remember, it's an attack on you. It's not an attack on me. And what God has done in this season is those who love truth will see what is true. I'm not telling you what truth is. I'm telling you, you will see, you will know. And those who want to be in chaos, they're going to also decide to stay in chaos. You understand? But this is a season where you will be able to tell the difference if you have proper discernment, and I'm telling you this because what you're going to see happen next is many righteous people are going to start taking place and taking position. Because one of the things that God showed me, and I'm just letting you guys understand, when I walked on this journey, when all of that happened, God showed me that the table, he said, don't worry about your money. He said, don't worry about anything. I understand that they attacked everything. They took everything. And it's so funny because they're in here, where's the money? It's like, you guys knew you took everything. There was nothing. The only reason I came back is because people continue to reach out. It's not because I wanted position again. And I think when God see you steward, and this may be for someone in here, God watches how you steward little. He watches how you show up in those seasons when you don't have. You understand? Like, many people probably only knew I didn't have because I said it. But what I'm saying is I understand, and I think God used all of that because it's to let me have an insight on what we need to do for our people. Because also I probably would have been in that system thinking I had to build a system to protect that system, when whole time that was going to be the very system that turned on everyone and created hell on earth. You understand? So that's why we have to be very wise in who we partner with, to let this be an example, guys. If you guys didn't get anything from this, keep in mind, I was praised. I was the best thing on the market at one point, and then all of a sudden, she is the worst. Okay, and that's what happens when you partner. When you don't know who you are, because to be honest, the enemy always knows who you are, but you don't know. And when you don't know, the enemy can always abuse that. Many people were like, "But what happened? What happened is I stopped being a puppet." What happened was they had no more control. I stopped feeding the system, and the system was like, why is it that now you're not just falling in line? You see what I'm saying? That's when you know what you're dealing with. When God starts to uproot you, and please, guys, don't ever get scared of when God is removing you. Because a lot of times we do want community, but be grateful for the places God didn't let you stay. Like, they think they don't even understand. Like, I'm so grateful. And this is what I'm saying. Like, God will use it to work for your good if you let him. Curtis, I see your hand up real quick. Go ahead.
I apologize. This is Black J.
Go ahead, Black J.
I had to run to the bathroom and I left the phone on the couch because I don't bring the phone in the bathroom.
Go ahead, real quick. Your hand was up.
I am a member. I am family. I apologize. I have not been on here lately because I've been so daggone busy. I'm trying to get my life together and get back into doing what God put on my heart to do, which is help us to grow and be better and to do better for one another. So I'm definitely looking forward to participating more and doing more things with Xi-Amaru, because y'all my family.
Yeah.
And I make sure my family is good, and whatever resources I have and knowledge I have that I add to my family, like my brother did for you, to make things better for all of us.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that. I've done everything except for one thing. I think I owe what, $15 or $14 or something like that. Other than that, everything else I have done already.
Congratulations. We're
Thank
happy to
you.
have you. Well, keep in mind, our family time is coming up on Saturday for those of you if you're just coming in. But this, I really appreciate you guys jumping on. I'm going to give the floor to Curtis to close.
A question. One question.
Go ahead.
What time on Saturday is the meeting? And can I come to it live if I'm in Georgia?
Yeah, no, we're having it because the office. So keep in mind, the upcoming grand opening that we have going on is the first official walk-in, because as you guys can see, this is dangerous work to a certain degree.
Right.
But the first walk-in office is the one we're about to open. And that's going to be on the 21st. For those of you who aren't aware, we're going to be talking more on that on Saturday. So if you are in Georgia, please drive up and support us and come out and join us for this great time. But more details are going to be in that meeting on Saturday. The time, I'm not sure, but the email will be going out tomorrow. So be on the lookout, check your spam, check your inbox tomorrow, and just look out for that communication. But Curtis, the floor is yours.
I just wanted to say thank you for everything. I'm learning. I'm new here. I am part of the family.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to work. Let's get it done. And I apologize you had to go through all that.
I
You know what I mean? It is what it is, though.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Curtis. And to be honest, I think one of the things that the enemy hates the most is that I do love families, meaning my brothers and sisters mean a lot to me. And I realize that is one of the spirit of division is very big. And this isn't me trying to personally attack anyone, but there is a very demonic spirit in that system. And I think that's why God is going to deal with it, is because it separates. And I just want to make a public announcement. Hey, if you are a lady, listen, our nation got some good men, okay? Like, I know the world keeps trying to make you think that there ain't no more good men out here and they all hate. Like, we got men that provide, protect. We got women who women who love men as well. Like, if you are single and you want to build and you want to find someone good, I ain't saying we got any mingling going on yet, but I'm just saying that this will be the right place to find that at the end of the day, because our people love each other. I'm just going to make it that simple. So don't feel any type of way, because I think at the end of the day, what is being built in our nation, and even that, like, I know that attack back then was to make me not understand the important role that I play in family. That's why unfortunately, that family had to be destroyed. But God is a restorer. So for those of us who have been through things, like, I want you guys to understand, like, God will right it right. He will fix it. Okay, let me be a testimony. Okay, God will fix it for you if you let him. But you gotta seek first him, and that's really what I got on this journey. Keep in mind, I wasn't even this when I was going through that. Like, I wasn't. But what that situation did for me is it really made me want to find peace. like that journey put me in a place where I'm like, I don't ever want chaos again. Like, and to be honest, I put myself there. So I want you guys to understand, like, I take full responsibility that I chose to connect with those people, that I chose to be in that situation. You understand? I chose to go against my own intuition, even though I could sense things weren't right. So my hands were dirty. I may have not did all of the accusations, but I watched it happen, and I turned and I protected people that didn't need to be protected. So therefore I was just as guilty as them. And that's what God showed me, is like, when you tolerate evil by being neutral, by trying to protect, by trying to keep the peace, you are just as guilty. So although they lied about that I did it directly, I am guilty because I watched them do it. You see what I'm saying? Till I got enough, till God kept making my spirit like, okay, I can't keep watching this. Like, we got to do something. And boom. So that's what happened, is I disrupted that matrix. But God is good, guys. God is good. But I see something. I see y'all in the comments. Y'all can relate. I love you guys. I'm going to see you all on. Wait, Rashida, you got something to say one more time? Because we're about to wrap it
No,
up.
I think I'm good. No, I think I'm good. I just wanted to let you know that I'm willing to volunteer my time when I become an official member. And I'm not expecting payment or anything. I'm talking about volunteering any
I'm
little
gonna
bit
go
that I
in.
can.
We're gonna build. We love you. Thank you. Jason, go ahead real quick.
Hey, how you doing? It's good to hear your voice and see your face, even in those circumstances. But I mean, you proved, you basically showed the enemy themselves, and that was cool. I love seeing that. The Most High, he operates in a way that we don't understand, and so for most people that may have come into that conversation, there might have been some question or some doubt. But again, me knowing you and dealing with you since I've become a citizen, it's there was no doubt in my mind, that the enemy was showing himself. But along the lines of what the other brother said before, in terms of understanding, like getting a full understanding of, so we understand, and new people coming in understand how to operate within within the system and back and forth. Let me know.
I
holler
got
at me.
you. I know you've been patient with us, Jason. People like you guys. Like I said, if it wasn't for people like you guys, I probably would have stopped a long time ago. But people like you being so understanding, being so mindful, and even contributing when you don't even have to, because it's not in place. Like, we see it and we appreciate the love and support. And trust me, we're about to put boots on the ground, and that's why the enemy is mad.
Yeah, that's why he's mad. That's why he's mad, because he understands how important this is.
We coming, but I hear you, and that's right coming up. Hey, Marcy, go ahead, my sister.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Hey, it is so nice. Peace and love to everybody. I just had to put in my little 2 cents, y'all, because I was with ARNA before. I watched the transformation. I left on my own. I got caught up into some of the mess. So I'm a living testimony to say, hey, I saw the ugliness, the devil, the negative, and I didn't even really know what was going on back then. And I was being called names, and I'm like, I'm just asking on the status. What are you talking about? And then I started seeing the video. So all I'm saying is that you've always walked with love, Chief. Always walked in love, always shared love, and always shared whatever that you had with people, regardless of what you was going through. And I'm just saying that I'm just going to be a testimony. You guys, I am 60 years old. I just left the federal government. I said peace and deuces. I opened up my own herbal store here in Tennessee. So I am an herbalist, and I'm ready to rock and roll with us.
We're rolling, girl. Yes, my sister. Thank you for that testimony, and thank you for coming on and letting people know, like, we all got. Let's just be honest. Like, I was there too, so
I was one of the ones too. I called my credit card company and said, please reverse those charges.
Hey. But see, God literally said, but see, you may have been silent back then, and God said that testimonies will be going public, and I That was just a testimony right there. So thank you so much for sharing. And you are forgiven. I understand. Like, hey, and that's what God showed me in that season, is because many people were confused. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't hold that against anyone.
Oh,
Now
and
those
one more
those
thing.
who stay, God gonna deal with them. But Veronica, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Veronica, go ahead.
Hi. I heard about this ministry, and it came out of someone's mouth, and I took it because I had been introduced to something years ago, but I didn't act on it. But it was a thought, and it stayed there. So when the person told me about this, I wanted to do my own research about it and see what they was about, what they were saying. Was it something that I might be interested in? And I followed through. I had my appointment, and I met Joshua. Joshua really changed my mind about things because he wasn't on a religious level. He was on a spiritual level with me. And that all comes together because actually we're looking for the same thing: peace, joy, happiness, and freedom. No matter how you get there, we all want to go in the right direction. And sometimes it takes another person to say, okay, this just not about Christians. This not about Muslims. This not, and he freed me in that area to say, okay, let me look further into this, because I felt his spirit. He felt my energy. And that energy right there has always been an energy to help my people, to help people, period. That's my calling. That's my life. And I take that very serious. So I sit back, and when I first came on a meeting, I heard a lot of confusion, up and down, whatever. But like you said, when you're on the right path, there's going to be obstacles. There's going to be problems. There's going to be trouble. If you don't have that, you need to look what
You're
path
going
you're
the wrong
on.
way.
Yeah,
Really?
you're on the wrong path. You're not on the narrow path. You're on the wide road where everyone is on that. We're coming away from that. When my third eye opened up, I said, oh my goodness, I have been asleep all these years. Now I'm awoke, so I will never be able to go back to sleep. So it's just to help my people, my lineage, my grandkids, my this, my that, because I did not know who I was. All of that was taken from me. It was erased, but I always had question marks in my mind. I always had unanswered questions in my heart. So now it's being opened up to me. This what it was, the signs, the downloads, the people that's coming to me, the people that I'm attracted to. So I'm glad whatever this is, it's needed. And as long as it could be tribes or family, as long as we don't stand together, whatever don't stand together and whatever is not solidly built, it's on sand. It will fall. It will fall because it's not on a foundation. It's on sand. If it's built on lies, if it's built on money, money is only a currency. It's a spiritual thing. You don't go after the money. You go after the purpose, and the money will come. That's all I had to say.
Thank you so much, Miss Veronica.
You're
And
welcome.
thank y'all for the shout out. I see the love. We love the feedback on Joshua. And we're looking forward, like I said, to have so many more guys. I see your hearts. I know you guys are here also sent to serve. And we will be, like I said, in many locations serving our people. And this is something now that we will be putting behind us, but that doesn't mean the work is over. We have a lot coming up. So I hope you guys who are here and those who may be rewatching this, make sure to show up for the next meeting. This meeting will be public. And again, apologies for those of you who may have to go through at the beginning, but if you keep watching, I'm happy you made it to this point. Mr. John, do you have something to say real quick? Mr. John?
Yes.
Do you have something to say?
I don't. Thank you.
Okay, got you. Well, anyways, guys, that concludes this I guess kind of tribal meeting, but our official meeting will be on Saturday. Y'all better pull up. It is Saturday. Normally we don't do meetings on Saturday, but we're trying to give some time and space because I do understand that a lot of us, have different schedules and we try to accommodate as much. So I'm not sure exactly the time, but be on the lookout for that communication. Bye, y'all.
Chief, wait. I want to give some love. Wait, I just want to give some love. There's a small business in the chat.
I told you I'm going
I'm sorry,
up to
hold
my
on, not small
tribal,
business. I don't even want to say
whatever,
small
and I'm
business.
getting my
We got big
I just-
business over here.
Yeah.
So Arms Plumbing, you guys got that? In Clyde, Texas.
Thank
Zip
you.
code 79510.
Oh.
Anthony R. Madison. So if y'all
No,
need
because they lied. And it was talking and stuff in here.
somebody's on that.
She's like, I gotta let them know they've been lying on my cheek.
So-
That's right.
Yeah, Arms Plumbing, y'all, in the Texas area. Arms Plumbing LLC in
Yes.
Clyde, Texas. Make sure y'all support for
Business
real.
owners, yes, Joshua, thank you for that. Business owners, listen, a lot is about to drop. Like after this part, because you guys are not have to understand, because your chief hand has been in a lot. That's why we're trying to put more people in place. But we're moving after this position, training everyone else on other things. We're gonna be directing energy and time to businesses so that you guys understand how to get the best out of these indigenous businesses. So just prepare, guys. Like the year may be in the middle, but we just getting started. Okay. I love you all. Bye for now, y'all. Have a good night. I can't handle the chat. Right. Oh, I ain't stopped the recording. Ding, ding.